everyone. Eric Watson, freelance writer, player of games, writer of words, recorder of videos, and tabletop role-playing aficionado. Welcome to Patron D&D, where platinum level patrons and I get together to play Dungeons & Dragons via Discord and Roll20. These Patron games are not live streamed, but are recorded for your viewing pleasure. You can join our official Discord server with invite link into the description below. If you would like to support the channel and possibly join these Patron games, check out patreon.com/RogueWatson. Our music is by Kevin MacLeod. Welcome to session number 3 of our Dragonlance Shadow of the Dragon Queen campaign, published by Wizards of the Coast. For this session, I'm joined by patrons Brandon playing Cere, Dwarf Cleric of the Light Domain.
Hey there.
CT playing Pi, Gnome Ranger Hunter.
Hello.
Genocider playing Korl, Dwarf Bard College of Dance.
Hello.
Jared playing Elyas, the Human Diviner Wizard. Or Wizard Diviner. And John playing Rickard, the Human Wizard/Fighter.
Hello.
Now, I also should have asked, do you prefer Wizard/Fighter or Fighter/Wizard? Because it could depend on which one you were first, or I could do it in the order in which your one is higher than the other.
I think Fighter Wizard is appropriate.
Wizard. Okay.
Yeah.
I will make that adjustment.
Battle Wizard.
Human Fighter Wizard. All right. And by the way, we have awesome new... well, this art is not new, but it's now landscape. Why is Korl's... Did you drop your token on this map? Get out of here, Korl. I realized that with our overlay, I'd have to zoom way out because our webcams literally block Pi down there. Zoom way out to see you, but it's really awesome art. Shout out to Demnix. Previously on Shadow of the Dragon Queen. With the reenactment suddenly turned real, the party were caught in a fight for their lives, but unlike the victims around them, they were not poorly unarmed militia. Cazra and Pi fought with blade, hammer, and shields, upending enemies off horseback, while Cere channeled healing magic to save Cudgel, and the half-ogre leader of the shocking attack, Dragonlance, emerged from the fray, ready to finish them all off. Korl and Elowin strung magical words, bombarding the enemy with psychic attacks and spells. Cudgel charged angrily at Dragonlance, while the others dealt with his minions. Soon Dragonlance was left fleeing from the scene, only to take an arrow to the head. Becklin finally arrived, and the few enemy forces who remained soon scattered. The survivors gathered up the wounded and began a somber march back to Vogler. In Vogler, the town was upset at the attack and mournful of the dozens who were killed. The party found answers by interrogating one of the captured mercs, learning that Dragonlance was mysteriously paid for the job. After receiving directions and a long rest, the party headed out the next morning to the Ironclad Regiment camp. There they met Jayev, an acerbic but honest scout, and Cudgel's other lieutenant. He was also tracking what Dragonlance was up to, and he leads the party west towards a cliff, where they spot hundreds of tents and 1,000 soldiers, an entire army. Before they can process it, a patrol of soldiers emerges from the nearby woods and attacks. Which means, once again, we are going to start this session off with some combat. So I drag you all to this map here. Brought to you by Tessa Presents Dragonlance Maps. So the army, the cliff is to your south. Here it is obviously off the map. It's a little bit in the distance. And behind you, amongst the kind of trees and things, there's no surprise around here because of the snapped twigs and everything you heard to alert your presence to what looked like a mixture of armed soldiers wearing red and... Let me make sure they're actually wearing armor. Yes, they are. A red and black designed armor, and then some hulking humanoid figures in kind of robes, basically designed to cover a good chunk of their bodies, but their heads are mostly exposed, large reptilian heads. And out of this group, I believe only Pi has actually seen these kind of creatures before.
Yeah.
Do we take a stress dice?
Yeah, everybody increases stress level by 1. All right, and then Jayev also gets to roll for initiative. Ooh, he fast. He real fast. He is the fastest, actually. How appropriate. All right, battle music, engage. Lucas. Okay. Okay, everybody. Do we have everybody on initiative order?
We got all the bad rolls out of the way.
Yeah, you did. You guys actually are getting the... Oh, no. You are getting the drop on you. Jayev is actually first, and he flips around and he says, "What the bloody fuck are those?" And as I mentioned, he has this bandolier of throwing knives, and he immediately takes a pair of knives out and just throws both of them at the nearest creature. I believe those have a 20-foot range. Needs to get a little bit closer. He's gonna pop up, hurl him, and then he'll pop back. Ooh, Jayev, you dog. Oh my goodness. Awesome. My awesome NPC is awesome. I'm so happy. just absolutely throws these things like ninja stars. And they stick into this creature, which hisses back angrily, growls, and he kind of takes a couple steady steps back, and he does that instinctively, but then he notices he's like right next to the cliff and realizes that's probably not the best place to be. Next, these creatures, and this is, let's see if I have a bigger picture. Yes, I do. Okay, so they kind of pull their robes aside and they reveal actual armor that's been fit for their bodies and wings out of their backs. But still pretty rotund. And they hiss and charge. Cere, 10, 15, 20, 25, and attempts to stab at you with a sword. 6 ain't no good, but it gets to swing twice. It's stumpy but quick.
21 hits.
21 hits for 4 piercing damage.
She's just shocked.
Yeah, this is not something you've seen before. The one that threw the stars at Jayev growls at him and does the same thing. Charges. And attempts to... Oops, that's Jayev's sheets. Stab at him. And a 22 hits him for 5 damage as he tries to bring up a dagger and blocks the first one, but the second one cuts him. Then you also see, in addition to these scaly creatures, what look like human soldiers, but they, one of them has a sword and a shield, and the other one is wielding a two-handed sword. Let's say that this one's with the shield, so we'll do the two-hander. 10, 15, 20. Who runs up, and who's he gonna fight? Pi, the guy with the shield. And he takes this, he's got the two-handed sword, I said. He takes his long sword and raises it up and mumbles something that Pi and Korl you can hear. Sounds something like, Takesis, inflame my soul and scorch my foes. And you see his sword suddenly alight with flame as he attempts to stab at Pi. Oh, that one did not back up that coolness. You bring up that shield, and he just... you don't even feel it connect as he kind of stumbles a bit, trying to swing at you. The shield's awesome green light kind of blinds him for a second. But then he comes in and with an upswing. And look at all my second attacks are like over 20. Does a 21 hit the Super Armory Ranger?
It does.
Okay.
It does.
For 7 slashing and 4 fire damage. It actually is not for show. That sword is flaming.
Alright.
Gosh, all these guys get to go. Alright, this one. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. We'll make it Token Fate. Is Pi again. But this one does not have the flaming sword. Just one of these reptilian creatures. attempts to attack you with the short sword, but both times you were able to easily bat its blade away. Okay, Pie, it is your turn.
All right, I'm going to bonus action Hunter's Mark this guy.
Okay.
And then short sword my attack.
I like this token a lot, too.
I don't know what he's mad at.
He's just passionate. He's just feeling it. It's vibes.
24 to hit.
Yikes. That is going to hit, yes.
And some extra stuff is going to happen here because I am a Colossus Slayer.
Oh,
right?
boy.
So when you hit a creature with a weapon, it deals an extra 1d8 of damage if the target has any missing hit points. Oh, not yet. Okay. Does not do that extra damage yet.
You did not want to go first.
No. So it's 8. I don't think the D8, or it's the D8 the Hunter's Mark. Let's see.
Oh yeah, what is it doing there? It's D6, 4 plus 4, so that's got to be your sword.
Yeah, the D8 does not count.
Oh,
but I
process,
add
okay.
Right, but I add Hunter's Mark, which is a D6.
Okay.
So another 5.
So 8 plus 5?
8 plus 13, yeah.
13, okay. That does connect, and you're satisfied to see a bloody trail comes up. He tries to bring up that flaming sword, but you're so quick. You jam in there and slice his midsection.
And with Vex, because I hit him with my weapon and caused damage to him, I have advantage on my next attack roll against him.
You need to get that extra attack.
Yeah. Well, I get advantage. I don't get an extra attack.
I know, that's what I'm saying. You need extra attack to get it, because it's before the end of your next turn. Yeah, we talked about this before.
Well, before the end of my next turn.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, it's before the end of your next turn. That's true.
It's still my next turn.
That's true.
So I'll get advantage if this dude remains alive.
Very true. Okay, you did do a pretty serious blow to him, though. Rickard.
All right. Rickard will rush forward here at this guy.
And as a reminder, most of you, even you're aware of the situation now with the army and everything. These soldiers with this armor style you've never seen, these creatures are completely alien to you. You've never seen anything like this before.
All right, something out of myth and legend. All right, so Rickard will rush forward here to try and keep this one off of. Wait. Yeah. Cere?
Cere?
Forget.
Yep. Yeah, Cere.
Cere. Okay. And I'm gonna go with. So his sword lights, or not sword, but his battle axe lights up with True Strike. Let's see how we cast that. There we
I can
go.
light up my weapon too.
That's what she said.
Yeah. Figure out how this gets cast.
Yeah, good luck.
Oh yeah, they changed True Strike, didn't they?
Yeah.
One attack with the weapon used in the spell's casting attack. Use your spell casting ability for the attack and damage. Oh, so the sheet doesn't do that?
It doesn't seem to. So let me see if.
Does it have in your? What's the best way to do that then? Maybe add a custom weapon with the same name that uses the numbers.
Oh. It did. Okay, I found it. It's just in there like 3 times, so it's. really weird. Okay, there we go. That feels ineffective.
Well, it looks like it only. Oh no, there it is. Yeah, it's 1d20, 9 plus 6, 15. It just rolled the damage at the same time. It looked like.
Oh, I must have toggled that on somewhere. Okay.
But yes,
right.
15 does hit.
Okay, great. All right, so
these creatures don't appear to have the decked out full soldier army that the two humans do.
Okay. All right, so then with the battle axe, that triggers the topple thing. So this is one of the few that you do have to roll the save on.
Okay.
So
Constitution
DC
save. Okay.
Nice.
All right, so that knocks him prone,
Okay.
and then the 8 damage.
Nice. That was a good 1-2 punch. The creature is suitably surprised by the sudden magical onslaught.
That'll do it for me.
And these guys definitely take note of that. This one is wielding the sword and shield, and he grunts, says, "You possess power, but ours is greater. A goddess wills it." And will light up his sword. He's got the sword and shield combo, and attempts to attack you, Rickard. 17 hit.
It does not.
Okay,
Nice.
let's try one. Yeah, he's a battle mage. How about a 9? You, are you bringing up a shield? Is this like what is your armor?
I do. He is wielding a shield, and my AC is a 19.
Okay. Thinking he had, after seeing that display of magic, thinking he had a good in, but you're able to deflect the blows. Korl.
I'm gonna give Jayev a bardic inspiration,
Okay.
and then
What do you do?
this is a new. Okay, I'll say. Don't worry, Jayev. You take care of that one. We'll take care of the rest. Then when I give someone inspiration now, I can make an unarmed strike.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
And then my unarmed strikes use dex and the damage of my 1d6.
This is the
So I'm gonna make one.
He stands flanking.
Yeah, I'll make one at this flaming sword guy.
Okay.
Let's see, how do I do this?
What is your unarmed? Okay. 15. You know, lucky for you, he does not have the shield the other guy does. He's got the two-handed sword, so 15 actually does hit this guy. For 7, and all that was a bonus action,
7
right?
damage. Yes, that was my bonus action.
Wow, that's cool.
And then
Now, what does that
for
look
my
like when you
action-
do your unarmed strike? Are you dance fighting? Are you doing cool kicks? Is it just a random slap?
it's a kick, but it's a not so cool kick. Just like a kick in the shin.
I've been watching
You know
a lot
what?
of Cobra
Actually,
Kai
it's gonna
season
be
6 lately, so all the kicks I'm picturing are very cool.
It's gonna be a punch. It's gonna be a punch.
Okay.
And then I'm gonna vicious mockery. Say,
Oh,
let's
man. Literally
see if you like this
insult.
punch, this fist, as much as your mother did.
Literally insult to injury. Wisdom saves, which have not been my forte. Oh no!
Yay! Ooh, max
Damn.
damage.
For 6 damage. Oh no. He's gritting his teeth so hard, but tears are welling up. You Speak of the unworthy.
And I'm done.
That was a little 1-2 punch. Cere, you've got a prone monstrous creature in front of you.
I do, and her eyes are wide, and she says, "Oh no, the townspeople! We're gonna have to warn them." And she looks at Rickard and said, "Rickard or Rickard?
Yeah.
Rickard. Okay." And she says, "Oh, bless you." And reorcs hammer their courage brought upon your anvil, as like just a saying. But you guys all watch as her necklace, the forge hammer, like shines for a minute. There's like a small glow that comes from it, and she'll cast like unknowingly cast bless. So
Which covers
think
multiple targets, right?
cast it. It's 3. Yeah, it's not doing it the way that I thought it would. I thought I did the thing. I said cast the spell.
I mean, I can see it in the journal.
Okay. Use spell slot. I need to select the thing that says use spell slot. So now I've definitely cast it off my sheet. Unfortunately, it doesn't say anything else. But yeah, I bless 3 creatures. You guys get a D4 to attack rolls and saving throws. It's for Rickard, Korl, and Pi. And she's going to try to put distance now that it's prone. And I know it can still take an attack of opportunity, but she's going to just try to put some distance between her and it by maybe taking a step back or 2 next to Elyas.
Yeah, it has disadvantage, I think, on the attack, as it tries to like stab at you when you're trying to get away from being prone.
10 misses.
10 misses, yep. All right, Elyas.
Okay, something wacky's happened. I can't pull my character sheet up.
It might be minimized somewhere on your screen in a like ghost white rectangle. Or you've accidentally popped it out and it's on a screen behind that screen.
Worst case scenario, you can refresh Roll20 and I'll fix it, but
Okay,
That'll
I'll
take
do
a minute
that
to
real
load.
quick. Sorry about that.
no, it's all right.
I had it maximized and then I closed it out so I could get to something I couldn't get access to the another way. So, all right.
The one that always screws me up is when I have my hand on like the measuring tool and then I can't click on anything on the board. Can't open anything. I'm like, why the fuck is this working?
Okay. Okay. This is weird. Elyas is going to, with a really flat affect, he hasn't been very talkative over the last 24 hours. He's going to move up to here. And he's going to cast I can find it. I hit it several times earlier when I didn't mean to, so I'm still learning all of this. Ray of Frost. He's going to attack guard number 2.
Okay.
What for Rickard?
Okay, 19. Yours is also set to auto roll damage, it looks like.
You want me to turn that off?
We usually like to, yeah.
Okay.
It just cleans it up in case attacks miss and we don't need the damage. But in this
Okay,
case,
perfect.
19 definitely hits, so you can deal 5 cold damage.
Right. And his move is reduced by 10 feet.
Okay. Wizards!
And that's going to end my turn.
Okay, we got one more creature. It's gonna come sauntering out. Rickard's about to tank 3 of these creatures. And same thing, we'll attempt to stab at you. It just rushes at you with its kind of stumpy exterior. And attempts to slash with short swords, but you are tanking it up storm over there. Alright, start of the initiative. Jayev, who's got Bardic Inspiration and dudes in front of him. He is forced to take out his scimitar instead of his beloved throwing dagger. He's got dudes in his face. And he will stab at the one that he's already shot with daggers. 13. Okay, so what is our Bardic Inspiration, Mr. Korl? How much?
1d6.
You want to roll that for me? See how
Sure.
inspiring your punch moves were for JF. Okay, 16 turns that miss into a hit. So that was an effective Bardic. And that is going to do 7 slashing damage. And then he gets to attack once more, but that one does not connect. Bloody things! I can take a bit of a licking. We gotta end this fast. This draconian will... Oh, what did I say? Will stand up and stab at... I'm gonna go after Cere down there, but...
Go ahead.
Yeah, I will. So he will actually provoke attack of opportunity from Rickard as he attempts to go down and stab.
He like scrambles up off of his
scrambles and charge because he had tried to stab you earlier and you were dancing around and you had made some kind of your words definitely had some kind of physical effect, like some kind of light shone on everybody, and that definitely seemed to attract these creatures.
She says, "What are these beasts?"
Mm-hmm.
Oh crap! Okay.
That one's got a thirst for blood. Did you want to attack?
Hold on. Features and traits. Warding flare. When a creature that you can see within 30 feet of yourself makes an attack roll, you can take a reaction to impose disadvantage on the attack roll, causing light to flare before it hits or misses. You can use this feature a number of times equal to your wisdom modifier. You regain all expended. So, in like her backing up and moving, the little reflection, like sun hitting a mirror, like goes into its eyeball.
Nice.
As she uses the ward, like she doesn't know she's using it, but the warding flare goes off.
Okay.
So it needs to reroll.
Yeah, almost just like by accident you set this off and it like blinds him. All right, the reroll is only 2 less, 21, but at least it's not a crit.
Okay.
3 piercing damage.
That's 3.
And I'll definitely take that opportunity attack.
Sure. Yeah, go ahead.
Guess not.
Ooh.
Oh no, natty 1. All right. Because you did that, I'm gonna actually have the creature make a DC 10 Wisdom save to see if it still has the fortitude to keep attacking you. It does not. So it seems a little bit perturbed by this. You're as much as you're probably freaked out by this creature. It also and none of you again are very used to seeing divine magic displayed like this. You've only probably just seen it like yesterday, basically, and even then that was also during a battle, during a much more crazy battle. This one is less intense, and you're probably more aware of. Some of you have some very supernatural powers, and it's growling and actually speaks out in common. It says, "Strange magic."
No. I think I lose. So I don't know about 2024 rules, but I'm assuming that it still has to make con saves for concentration checks.
Because you did get hit earlier, I believe that is the. I guess I never actually looked that up, but I think it's the same. Yeah, DC 10. Oh no. So that one hit just turned off all the bless.
I would lose bless. Yeah.
Oh man. Danger being surrounded by dudes. All right, Draconians attacking. Jayev, ineffectually. Mr. Two-Handed Sword here is very wounded and grunts and says, "Takusis will not allow failure. And attempts. Now he's only got eyes for you. Well, I guess Korl did. You know what? We'll leave it up to fate. Both of you did bad things to him. Alright, yeah, he's still locked onto Pi. So he will attempt to bring down that two-handed sword on Pi. Still aflame. Goodness.
No.
Once more. 15. I don't think that's going to be good enough to hit you. So once again, you bringing up that shield and this flaming sword at bay. But he's barking at to take down you to this Draconian. This Draconian will turn to Pi, attempt to try to get in there and stab you. But no!
Nope.
Some of you guys are real tanky. Probably a good idea. Alright, Pi.
Alright. I have advantage from my previous one, and
It did survive.
he's not dead. He
Although,
did survive.
He looks real bad.
Take that. But yeah, here we go. Well, bam.
Oh!
I'll see ya.
That's our first crit of the campaign, I think. Is that correct?
I think so.
Player crit.
Player crit, correct. Yeah. That's all I'm really tracking. All right. Pi is determined to win all of the first big things, I think.
He's famous.
All
Do I
right.
need to roll damage? Or?
Yeah, that's interesting. It says damage and crit damage. So, do they keep it separated, or? So which one did you click on?
I clicked on crit damage.
Crit damage. Okay, so it looks like that maybe includes everything together, I think.
It does.
1d8 plus... Okay, just kind of low d8s. But 13 is good enough to extinguish this dude.
Excellent.
And as he falls, the sword's flame goes out.
That's it?
I don't know why the X is behind the token now. That's kind of annoying. All right, Rickard.
I see it on top.
Yeah, me too.
You see it on top? Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
I noticed it watching the replay. It was happening from your view in the replay. Everything you X'd out, the X was behind the portrait.
Do you think it's because I have like the numbers on there or something? I wonder if I take that off. Well, you guys see the numbers though too, don't you? The token.
Mhm.
Yeah.
It's probably a DM thing so that you know which tokens.
Okay. All right. Well, that makes me feel better if you guys see the X properly then.
Yeah, we see X on top.
Okay. All right, Rickard, you've got the soldier up here is wounded. The mysterious reptilian creature down here is wounded. And you even have another one in your face as well.
You're muted if you're saying anything.
Oh, John.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I'm going to do True Strike again. I don't want that other guy, but I feel like the guy with the human in front of me is a bigger threat at the moment. It seemed like
They appear to be better armed and armored. You think the reptilian creatures are almost more of their like maybe a lower rank or something.
yeah.
And yet they appear much stronger than what you would know like a goblin is in this world.
Trying to fix my. Okay, there we go.
13 is not going to be enough to hit the soldier, though.
Okay.
He's bringing up his shield and deflecting that blow.
Right.
Is that it?
Yes, sorry, that
Okay.
will do it for me.
And he will respond in kind and go after you with his sword. It's just gonna be like a pitcher's duel where neither side can hit each other. Okay, unless the DM starts getting some more crits, though. The trick is to have multiple creatures with multi-attack. Turns out it's you have way better odds. So I assume the 16 should miss, but the crit is... Oh, that's right, because I do fire damage, too.
Yeah.
Oh,
Wow.
boy. 9, 3 is 12, 4 is 16, and 2 is 18 damage.
guess.
The goddess wills the power through me. My
All
weapon
right,
glows more than your
really-
weapon.
That really hurt. That staggers him back for sure.
Still up, though. Look at that. All right. That was one attack, wasn't it? Sorry, I have another attack. I'm definitely going to do that. I just realized. No, I don't. That was 2 attacks. It was 16, 24. All right, Korl.
I'm gonna Bardic Inspiration, Rickard. Yeah, don't worry, I'll save you. Then I'll run up to this guy. Same deal.
3 punch.
I'll take 2 unarmed strikes. Well, you know what? I don't know. Let me see how this goes.
14 does not. This guy's got
It's
the
gonna
shield.
miss.
It's the tanky tank.
Okay. I am gonna grab a handful of dirt and pocket sand.
Shasha. Ooh, color spray. Okay.
Let me click it for my.
This is the
See, doesn't make any sense.
blinding
I don't know which one.
I think. Right? There you go. Thank
Okay.
you. Color spray, Constitution save, and it affects in like a cone, doesn't it? So both of them.
Yeah, so it should hit both of them.
Okay. So this is the soldier con save is going to fail. And the creature's con save is actually going to succeed on that one. Soldier is blinded. Till the end of your next turn. Okay. Alright, Cere.
Gosh, guys, I don't know. I think just in seeing the hit you just took, Rickard, she'll just like plea, Reorcs, protect those that have protected me, and we'll cast Shield of Faith. Let me make sure I do it from the right area. Cast. A shimmering field surrounds a creature of your choice within range, granting a +2 bonus to AC for the duration.
So much AC.
So yeah, Rickard, you'll have 21 AC.
Awesome.
And she'll just hold her position. I think that's an action. No, that's a bonus action. Shield of Faith. She'll take the dodge action.
Okay. Elyas.
She'll take the dodge action and reposition here, where she's still within. Like she'll move up next to Rickard.
Okay.
Elyas is going to take a 5-foot step up, and he is going to cast Magic Missile.
Oh, cool.
Now, I've never played with you guys, so do you want me to let you know? Go ahead and like communicate where all 3 missiles are targeted prior to any damage. How do you GM that?
Yes. We generally you target. I think we've always done it where you target the missiles, and then you roll for the damage.
how bad?
90%
does
of the
number
time,
two
when
look?
my players do it, they just want to unload all missiles into one creature. So it honestly doesn't come up very often where they're like, yes, all the missiles into that creature.
Right. What is this? How bad does this guy look? Number 2.
Number 2 looks moderately wounded. Number
Right.
4 has not been hit at all, and number 3 also looks about the same.
So yes, I'm going to unload all 3 on number 2.
Nice.
That is too funny.
What does it look like when Elyas casts magic missile?
He does his little undulations on his hand, and he says Vartoth, and these streaks of what appear to be like a frost-covered ball with like shimmering nature, like snow coming out the back of it, flies forward and just strikes this creature, this man, in his chest. Like 2 of them in the chest, and 1 of them dings off the side of his head, the one that only does 2 points of damage.
Nice.
And for a total of, what's that? 9 points of force damage.
At the soldier? Or at the creature?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, at the soldier.
Alright. If it weren't for that, if you think that one on the helmet would have hit him more in the face, you think that would have just absolutely obliterated him. But as it is, he's like staggering around and coughing up blood from the impact. And he just sounds like, kill the wizards!
And he's going to end his turn.
Alright, so with those instructions, this one actually goes after Elyas now instead of Rickard. So which I think it can go through. I think it's just difficult terrain to go through your own dudes. So he'll go over here and literally just target Elyas and snarl at you. A lot of 8s for some reason. There we go. How about a 22 against the wizard?
That's going to hit.
It slashes you for 6 piercing damage. Alright, back at the top. Jaev is still battling the one near him with his scimitar. One of them hits, but it looks like he's almost got that one down. Bloody hell. This is taking too long. Lucky these idiots are more concerned with killing us than sounding off any alarms. The Draconian back here will keep attacking Cere, but you took the dodge action, so disadvantage, I believe.
Mm-hmm. Nice. Not nice.
Not nice. 18 still hits you. For 6 piercing damage. And then I believe you also have to roll concentration for this.
Oh, I probably do.
This is
Con save.
be a problem for Cere when you're also surrounded. Okay, you held on to it. You grit your teeth and concentrate. All right, so this is we get to test a slightly new, a different rule for 2024, because what this creature wants to do down here is attempt to grapple Jaev, and to do that, he makes an unarmed strike. And whenever you make an unarmed strike, you choose to either make an attack roll and deal damage, or to force the victim to make a save against being grappled or shoved. So in other words, it's no longer an attack roll; it is now a saving throw to avoid being grappled. So basically, I elect to. And the same thing is, instead of using a weapon to make a melee attack, so if I have the multi-attack, I can try to do this twice. But basically, he's going to force Jaev to make a saving throw, which is 8 plus the strength modifier. So that is... That's the wrong creature. Okay, so it's a pretty easy save for Jaev. These guys aren't super strong. And he is strong. Alright, and the creature tries to do it again, so he has to make another save. Okay, so it's like they're just like clawing at him, basically. He's like, the bloody fuck off me! It's just trying to like grab him for some reason. The soldier here is dead, so we remove you from initiative. Then we've got this one who is focusing on Pi. And this one will attempt to do the same thing. So it is going to Pi force you to make a saving I'll just make sure I get this part of it right, because this is a little different. You must succeed on a strength or dex saving throw. You choose which. The DC is 8 plus the strength modifier and proficiency bonus. So, which I guess you wouldn't technically know what it is. So the proficiency bonus is a 2, 8, 10, 11. Okay, that's just not good enough. So this creature does grab you. And I believe now you have the grappled condition. So your speed is 0. And now you have disadvantage on attack rolls against any target other than the grappler. And the grappler can move you, but it costs basically extra movement, double movement whenever it moves you. So the rest of you see, basically grabs you and slowly attempts to pick you up and carry you towards the cliff. And you can see its wings twitching as it nears the cliff. And it doesn't quite make it, but it basically drags you right to the edge. And then with its other attack, I guess it'll just try to hit you with its sword. While it's got you grabbed, just try to shank you. Uneffectively, though. The good news is, it's your turn next. So...
Okay, does that mean if I get myself free, that I fall to my death, or no?
Not yet. You're grappled, but he's not. You're basically you're dramatically at the edge of the cliff. Like you look back and your heels are like back at the very. It's not a huge. It's maybe like 20 feet or something, but certainly would be freaky in real life to me.
He's a gnome.
I am a gnome.
But yeah, so
so extra terrifying.
Yep.
Because I guess I can fall twice in this.
Yeah, that's what I was implying.
All right, so let's not do that, math.
As a dwarf.
All right, so my options are I can still attack you with my sword.
You can still attack, and it's actually completely normal. The only thing that's affected is if there was another, which is interesting. I think that part's changed. It's almost like a soft taunt in a way now. If you grapple somebody, they have disadvantage against other targets, except for you. They can attack you normally.
All right, so I still have my hunter's mark. I'm bonus action move it to this guy. Has this guy lost any hit points yet?
Has not.
Okay, so I will take Colossus Slayer and turn that effect off. And Hunter's Mark is on. And I've fixed that. And here we go. This is a 21.
Yes, it does.
For 11.
Wow, okay.
So now that D6 is my Hunter's Mark. The other D6 is my Hunter's Mark.
Gotcha.
Oh wow, if you had details, it says Hunter's Mark, D6 too. Very cool.
Oh yeah, there you go. The breakdown. Okay, with that attack, you think he's bloodied now. You've wounded him, but he still looks intent on, like, flying down this cliff and hurling you up if he gets a chance.
And I do not have movement.
Correct.
I can't, like...
Your speed is 0 while you're grappled, yeah.
Sounds great.
Just like got you by the shirt ruffle or something.
This it's very hurtful.
Yep.
To my pride.
The rest of you definitely noticed that. Rickard, you've got a very wounded, very blinded soldier in front of you.
Yeah, and I like me, the player. My instinct is to try and go help Pi, but like,
yeah.
I think character-wise, Rickard would be way too focused on what's in front of him. So with the sword slash that he got and all the burning, he kind of like draws upon that bit of fire that burned him and just amplifies it and unleashes fire on both of those guys.
Nice. Burning hands. That is a dex save. Okay. I do like the kind of UI for this though. It makes it very clear on like what the main numbers I gotta worry about is. Let's see, I haven't rolled a dex save yet. Soldier somehow is pretty nimble in that armor. And then the creature not so much, but a failed save is still half damage.
Oh.
Wow.
Does blind not do anything?
It might, but honestly, it's not gonna matter because he's got so few hit points. But you're right, it probably would affect him. So he's gonna actually get melted anyway because he's blinded and he thinks he hears the fire, but he does his little Wilhelm scream when the flames come up. And then that's almost max damage. 15. This creature hadn't been hit before, so it's still alive, but gets roasted from that blast. God. Oh, magic fire burns, not goddess fire.
And then bonus action, he will second wind to recover some hit points here. Figure out how to use
This is already an interesting build with the fighter wizard. I like it. I guess Jason's character in the last campaign was a fighter wizard too, but it was only it was more like 90% fighter, I think.
Yeah. Oh, there it is. Oh. Well, that was a horrible roll,
Only
but a
plus
little
one.
bit more.
Yeah, 4 hit points.
That'll do.
All right, well, that was good timing because that one was next. So then we go to Korl. Both the soldiers are down, at least. But the rest of the creatures seem still intent on killing you all, and Pi is backed up into a cliff. You are muted, I think. It's like you don't usually quietly
Sorry,
get
yeah.
inspiration.
Bye, I got you.
Don't push him.
Oh no, 12 is not gonna do. 16 will. It was the first part of the bardic, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, we didn't actually hear who got the bardic. I think you were muted for that, right?
Oh, it was Pi. It was
Okay,
Pi.
gotcha. Okay, with your attack action, you kind of refocus your efforts, or maybe you accidentally do it. I don't know if Korl just maybe fails forward sometimes. Like the first one you kind of miss, but somehow with the creature dodging, you end up like really connecting really hard. It like kind of wobbles your hand as you crack its jaw. And as it suddenly like enters this like death throw, something very strange happens with this creature as it begins, its whole body begins turning to stone. Almost like you've heard of creatures that can maybe gaze at you and have this effect. And so its entire body begins just turning into granite and stone and actually releases this kind of mist out of its body. And I'm going to need both Korl and Pi to give me Constitution saving throws. God, Pi has just main character syndrome, I swear. It's like, I'm good. Alright, you both are able to kind of cough really quickly and wave this gas away as you feel like it would have maybe for somehow had a similar effect on you as it did this creature. But, oh, actually, I'm going to say because it had grappled Pi, So I'm gonna still have to make you make some kind of a check next turn. You've got like this stony like grip on you now because it literally got killed like while it had its a hand on you, had you grappled. So now you're in a very creepy. You've got like a statue grabbing onto you. Good job, Korl. All right, Cere.
I think she's going to see Elyas get hit, and she's going to move forward again, potentially take an attack of opportunity from 3, and take the help action to try to like hold back. How much damage?
Does it still have disadvantage or no? Because now it's your turn, I think. Does it no longer apply, or does it?
I don't think it has disadvantage anymore.
Okay. Assume that was till the end of your next turn or something.
The dodge action, because I had taken the dodge action.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's on because it's now my turn.
Okay. It's 4 damage.
-4.
This creature is very
so-
eager at you getting out of its reach.
Yeah.
Because that seems to be the only time
For
it can hit you.
I keep moving back around. And I'm gonna like try to grab at its arms to hold it back from being able to attack Elyas again.
Okay, so now you want to do the grappler?
I'm just gonna try to like interfere it. Like I'm not actually trying to grapple necessarily. I'm just trying to interfere. I'm gonna take the help action.
Help action, gotcha. Okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for.
Sure.
And I'll just shout, "You've got to stop it! Stop it now!" Not knowing if they understand it. Or
Yeah,
not.
some of you have probably seen, and some of you maybe haven't, that Cere is something of a pacifist in battle and prefers to help and support versus causing harm. Okay, so we go to Elyas, staring down a very weakened creature here.
Elyas is going to take a step here and come around the back of this creature, and then he's going to say to Cere in a strong but resolute voice, "These creatures don't understand any of that." And he puts his hand up literally to the base of the skull of this creature and pops him with 3 more magic missile spells.
It's kind of badass. You come around like a fucking assassin, just back of the head. The creature's eyes just go wide and just slumps into Cere's like arms, basically.
Yeah, Cere's eyes are wide.
The violence. However, the same thing happens when you shoot it in the back. Its body turns into that stony form, and I need all 3 of you to give me Constitution saving throws as this gas is emitted. Oh, Elyas is showing the important, an important.
And I'm going to give myself 12 plus whatever, so plus 3, so I'm going to have a 15 on my con save.
Okay, so you somehow you saw ahead that there would be some kind of dangerous mist around you that you would not want to inhale.
And then for the rest of my turn, for my move action, I'm going to take. I'm going to go to there.
Rickard, you are fine at the moment, barely. You just start kind of coughing and turn your head away, but you see Cere just begin like hiccuping or something, and she suddenly, Cere, you find your whole body lethargic, and it feels like that like tingling sensation when your like limbs fall asleep or something. Yeah. And it's very worrisome because you're feeling that all over your body. So you currently have
Rickard, something's not right.
You have the restrained condition currently. All right, that one is. You guys are killing them right before their turn. It's poor Jabe over here. Mine's the biggest one, I swear. Oh shit. Actually, the first one does hit. 7 slashing. Okay, he does take that one down. And legit, he did have the biggest one, by the way, in front of him. And then he has to also make the save against the crap coming out, which he barely does. What the fuck is this? It turns to stone in front of him. Bloody sorcery. Alright, we've got this one, which has several targets available. It's been attacking Cere, but now it sees that Cere is kind of seizing up. And Rickard is actually a pretty good target, so let's go after you. And you, congratulations. You win the second critical hit from the DM of the night.
I'm going to use my reaction.
Is it against anybody near you? Let's look at the fine print.
It's a creature within 30 feet.
Oh, 30 feet, wow. Creature you can see within 30 feet of you makes an attack roll. Dang, okay. How many?
So
use this feature number
she's
to
like
get your wisdom. Okay.
3. I've got one left.
Nice.
As she's like starting to turn to stone, she like turns slightly and she says, "Rickard, something's not right." And that's when the thing flares into its eyes and it tries to attack her.
Nice. Curses, you're deleting all of my because I think the other one you deterred was another one on you also. All right, so I get to re-roll, right? Yeah. All right, disadvantage. Yeah, so re-roll.
Yeah, disadvantage.
Nice.
Yes.
All right, turned a crit into a miss. Excellent work. I think we have to get. Do you already have inspirations here?
I don't.
Okay, let's give you some inspiration for using Warding Flare to deter some very nasty hits. Even while you are in danger. That was both the attacks. The one down there is dead. The one down there is dead. I think we only have one left, right? Which is the one that just attacked Rickard. Okay, Pi, you are...
I was gonna say, how much movement is wiggling?
I would...
Or is wiggling an action?
No, if you wanted to spend half your movement, I could see where basically the equivalent of being prone almost. You just kind of like, it's not gonna be quite enough to actually make you roll for it, I think. But we'll say that it's equivalent to being prone. It takes like half your movement to get out.
So 15, 20.
I think there's a very exciting moment where you like jerk yourself
30.
out and you like lean a little too far back at the cliff and then have to like lean back forward.
Whoa. Yeah, exactly. Bears actually move 100 mark to this guy.
Okay.
Is this guy missing any hit points?
He is, yes.
Colossal Slayer turning on.
Finally. Forget when he got attacked.
And then, well, bam.
16 does
16.
hit, yes.
For 11.
Man.
I like how it separates the dice.
That's actually really cool. Yeah, it's pretty clear.
Yeah.
Does anybody else only see like a square?
What's the D6 and then a diamond for the D8 and or a rhombus and then another square.
I didn't even fucking get
D6.
that at first. Okay, it's showing the literal dice type. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, and then the D20. Okay, I can see it now. I guess you have to really look close at it and see it's a... What is that, a hexagon?
Yeah.
Okay, that's clever. Thank you. I would have spent so much time without realizing that. Alright, this creature's looking real bad. Almost death, one would say, to Rickard.
I think he's going to try and take it home with lighting up his sword again to try and run this thing through. Or his axe. Boy, I keep going back to the sword.
Maybe you need a sword.
Yeah, maybe so. Oh, man. But I got a Bardic.
13 is not quite gonna hit. Do have some armor.
Oh.
However, a 14 does hit. You have found its AC this late in the fight. Just inspired enough. Bardic was a good use this battle. Alright, for 12, you absolutely demolish this creature. And same thing, its body turns to stone as soon as your weapon hits it, and it starts kind of almost fall. And none of these creatures even fall over from being killed. They literally, like, right in that moment that your weapon passes through, they just immediately are encased in stone, and then, like, release this gas.
So with the battle axe, I get that topple ability. Can that count as like pushing it away from Cere so that she doesn't have to make the save again?
Is topple just knock him prone? Because there is another weapon master that actually pushes, I think. Would be the only argument I have.
I think it is more of a knock prone.
Okay.
Not a push.
I will say, because you can knock them prone at the same time, I will give advantage to those of you that have to make the save, since you are kind of knocking their body further away at least.
Okay.
Does that mean like a disadvantage because it's coming at me?
No, we'll do mechanically advantage to all you folks. Not all.
Okay, cool.
Rickard, Cere, and Pi, everybody around the creature.
So we're talking about number 3 right now, right? Because I'm already restrained from number 1. So does restrained give me any kind of... I don't think it does, but does restrained... I don't know the conditions.
Yeah, you already have to
Not
make
for
the
con
save, so I don't know if it actually matters.
Oh, wait. I should have put restrained on my thing. On my character sheet. I'm restrained.
Battle music. That appears to be the last of the enemies.
That was...
Oh, yeah.
I think I would have to toggle. So, yeah, she's...
Okay.
So she's restrained from that one, too.
Well, what happens is we'll count that actually as your just second saving throw. So I won't make you make the save again, but that was your second one to avoid being petrified. So the rest of you make the save, but you see Cere completely turn into a statue. Now, what you all don't know, but you all can read from the description I've been sharing, is that it's obviously not permanent, it's temporary. But it's very freaky at the moment where you see Cere literally appear to be statued up, just like those creatures. And JF turns like, we gotta get the hell... Oh, shit, what happened?
I'm going to run over and make sure that Cere doesn't fall over and, like, break if she looks like she's turned to stone. I would kind of have a little bit, I would imagine, have some knowledge about this. And then with a magic action, I'm going to call forth Valana, which is my familiar, a red fox, and telepathically I'm going to speak to her to, like, start searching the area. I want to make sure that we're not snuck up on again.
Okay.
So she's just going to systematically start running around in the forest and down the, this part of the trail and down this part over here to make sure that nobody's sneaking up behind us like they did before.
Okay. Yeah, JF's like, that's a good bloody trick, but we need to get out of here. Can some of y'all carry her? Oh, shit, I can do it.
Did her equipment turn to stone?
Yeah, the whole thing. Whole kit and caboodle.
Are you going to
Can
try
we
to
come
pocket
over
flip
and
it?
see if did our commotion up here alert the armies down
It
in
doesn't.
the valley?
It's a smart play. It doesn't look like it because they're pretty far away from this position. You think this might have been just a patrol out here, but you also know, and JF is probably right, that, like, you don't know if there's other creatures, and you send your familiar out there to scout. There's nothing in your immediate vicinity, but this is certainly not a place you want to loiter in, basically. So yeah, JF's like, we can try to, like, grab he goes over and, like, grabs a big, like, tree branch and, like, starts, like, tying shit together and tries to make you, like, a makeshift, I don't know what you would call that, the thing that you can, like, drag people on, basically, that's...
Sled.
Yeah. For the statue. And then right at the time that's put together, and like, I mean, minutes or whatever, but like everybody's like doing all this work for you, and then you suddenly start like breaking out of it, like cracks start appearing, which is obviously also very scary for all of you. You see cracks and splits and seams appear all over Cere, and then all of a sudden just kind of it flakes off like a, I don't know, like a mud mask or something. And you feel so exfoliated, Cere, but it is now you're probably actually coughing and feeling extremely uncomfortable as the feeling starts returning to your extremities.
Yeah, and she just kind of like collapses where she's at for a second, and she says, "Oh, I've got a splitting headache now. Oh, what happened?"
While all that's happening, I want to utilize my healer's kit for Pi and for Rickard. And then when Cere kind of comes back, I want to do that for her as well.
Okay.
3. So that. So I get to. Is that it there? No,
I think
it's
that's
about.
just stabilizing, unless you.
No, it's
someone-
battle medic.
Oh,
So I get to roll a hit die and add my proficiency bonus to it. So do you want me to roll those, or do you want them to roll their? And they have to use one of their hit die heals outside of a rest.
Yeah,
Outside of a short rest to do that,
probably the target can roll, I think.
and then just add a +3 to whatever that is. I'm sorry, a +2, which is what our proficiency bonus is right now.
Let's see. I don't see where the hit dice is.
yeah, that's what I was just looking.
Where are the hit dice? It's a good question.
If you click on short rest, but then don't take a short rest, it tells you what your hit dice are there. And it looks like it'll let you roll it there, but that'll add your con plus to it.
Maybe just roll it manually for now. Just know what your hit die is. Yeah, like that. And you can add the +2, like you were saying.
Okay.
Mine is the same. Mine's a +2. So I'm just gonna click the button.
If you go to the little gearbox above the little green heart with the plus on it, click that one, and then it should be redded manage hit points. Click hit die. It'll actually tell you what it is there, and you can actually click and hit the. I guess can you? I don't want to click it. Does that do anything there?
Not for me.
The CT, you can add an extra +2 to that.
I'll do this. I'm gonna hit this because it does my +2.
Okay.
All right. So I'm taking the 4 because that was actually Elyas'. But clicking it made it use the hit dice. So.
Yeah.
Cere says, "We gotta go tell the people in the town. This isn't gonna work."
Yeah. JF hurry. He's the one that led you all here, and he hurries, and you all GTFO. But he says, "Yeah, no bloody shit. Now you see what I've been tracking out here. I don't know what the fuck they're doing out there, but it's not good for anybody."
What if they're after us?
Gold.
We should probably rifle
Maybe we should
the
lead them
bodies
away.
really fast.
Look, you all best head back to the town. I'm gonna go back to camp. Wrangle up the lads. I don't think that camp's gonna be safe any longer. And we can meet up back in the village. Assuming, of course, they let us in. I don't blame them for hating us after what Dragonlance did. I wouldn't mind seeing Cudgel again too, making sure she's all right.
We all make mistakes. Maybe we can vouch for you.
Well, I think we might have bigger problems on our hands anyway. Look, you get back to town, you tell them about all this, all right? I'll be in soon.
I'm going to have Valoon kind of cover us, stay back about 100 feet, which is as far as I can do my telepathy, just to make sure nothing's trying to sneak up behind us, and rifle the bodies real quick before we leave, like any coin pouches or anything like that.
Yeah, they have their weapons on them, but otherwise you don't see any. They were pretty sparse, just out whatever. You might see some food and stuff they had, so maybe it was a bit of a longer range foraging or patrolling, but they didn't seem to have anything of note. But you all can hightail it with Jayev's help, kind of find the trail again, and get en route back to Vogler through the river gate. Jayev again says that he was going to go back to camp towards the north and get the last vestiges of the mercenary camp that remains, and meet you all back in the town. But now, armed with this new information you all were initially sent out to basically investigate the camp, and that investigation has led you to A, confirming that Jayev was alive and all the information that he knew, and then B, has now shown you that there's this vast army camped just nearby to this village. So you all can make it back to the village, and you would know that you're pretty much using the Brass Crab at this point as your kind of base of operations. Because the mayor's house has been turned out as a public kind of hospital triage with all the wounded and everything, because she's got the best facilities and things in there. And then the village circle is also being used, even though the streamers from the Kingfisher Festival are all still streaming out there. They're also people are gathering in the circle as well. But as you all approach the Brass Crab, Becklin is there, as well as the mayor has returned and is now discussing things with Becklin. And appears to be feeling better, and she is actually moving around and sitting at a chair and eating some food and everything, as you all can give your report.
So they're all in the Brass Crab.
Yes.
And we will walk in bloody and battle worn.
Yeah.
Sweating.
Yeah, you guys had you had a little bit of chance to do that triage work that Elyas provided. Yeah. But otherwise you all look like you have seen some stuff.
Cere, if she comes in, she'll just slightly dramatically, she'll say, "Mayor Becklin, we must cudgel. I'm so glad to see you up again. There's something dangerous on outside. We need to," and she can't get her words out. She goes, "You need to evacuate the city."
Yeah, their eyes kind of go up at that, and the mayor seems to kind of take point here and says, "What is going on? What happened with the camp and everything?"
Somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I don't keep ideas like this in my head so well, but half the camp wanted to turn and the other didn't, and the other part that stayed back, well, there's an army of hundreds, if not thousands, of soldiers just waiting to come this way.
Not the camp, but not Cudgel's camp, but like another camp further into the woods.
They had some type of creatures with them. I've never seen it before in my life.
Cudgel speaks up and says, What of my mercs? The Ironclad. Were there any at the camp? Did you see anyone? What about Jayev?
Jayev is there, and some of the others, some of them that weren't interested in the money, or well, they're probably interested in the money. They weren't interested in killing people.
All right.
JF said he was going to, I don't know, get the camp mobilized.
Yes, I'm sure it's probably dangerous then to still be out there. Her mind's like already working. Becklin, you can tell, is acting very concerned. She's kind of staring off.
Just don't see how we can fortify the town. We're already on our back foot.
The mayor says, She kind of turns to Becklin and says, we need to address this army. I can confer an official letter and messenger and ask them what their purposes are here. We have no qualm with any political forces around here. I don't
Korl,
see
tell
what
her.
they want with this, with us.
Tell her that she can't be a bureaucrat right now.
No, what would they want with this little town?
It's
a peaceful
it's in a
village.
good location for the river crossing, isn't it? This is a key place to cross the river here.
Well, I suppose if you include the fact that we only have half a bridge. She kind of chuckles, but you could tell it's like a nervous laughter. But they came from the north. There's nothing. It's the northern wastes up there. I don't know where this army came from. We've never had any threats from the north, frankly. Becklin, what is this? And again, the knight's being pretty quiet. And she kind of stares at Elyas and the rest of you and says, I have heard of armies gathering to the east, holding sway over, or having a power hold sway over them. Did you witness any emblems or markings or symbols?
Scales. Like literal scales, not just armor.
We're like
Elyas
lizard
taps his hand and he
men
says, even in
creatures.
death, these creatures can incapacitate. And he looks over at Cere.
She looks down at the ground.
Gas comes out and petrifies those around them. So you must kill these creatures at a distance. Hand-to-hand melee is dangerous even if you kill them.
So they're using some sort of shock trooper that's powerful even in death. That is surely dangerous. As you're all having this discussion, a corpulent noble reeking of sweat, perfume, and liquor storms into the brass crab with a sneer. I love this guy's fucking token. He gives all of you a dismissive once-over and then locks eyes with Mayor Raven. Mayor, What is the meaning of this? A group has shown up at my doorstep demanding I use my own house and personal supplies for the militia. This is surely against the town charter, in which the mayor's own house is to be used in times of emergency. Lord Baccharis, Mayor Raven says carefully, I can assure you that my home was the first site used, but we have more wounded than we've ever had before. I'm sure anything you can spare would be greatly appreciated. And compensated, no doubt. I'll be having my personal guards making a note of any supplies leaving my house. What is this? A meeting to which I'm not privy to? Is this about our poorly equipped militia? My taxes should certainly afford them better weapons and armor.
Elias, who is that?
Elyas, you would know. This is the young nobleman that you had words with. I think 2 nights ago.
Dispens.
In the game, this is his father, who is also named Baccharis, Lord Baccharis.
You guys see Elyas just one of his hands just grips in a tight ball, and it turns white.
Arthur meme.
But his face is just completely flat. There's no anger or anything on it at all.
Cere walks away from him. I don't know if you guys saw that, but she had to put some distance between them.
Yeah. Becklin will speak up and say, My lord, we are discussing the defenses of the town in a emergency situation. I should be a part of any council meetings. Uth Viarin. That's Becklin's full title.
Who elected you?
Who is this? This boy? I am Lord Baccharis Uth Estide.
So, do you run this city?
My boy, my money certainly does pay for just about everything around here.
Then why didn't you bulk up the militia more?
These people just came in here. Are these friends of yours, Becklin? Like that one? And he motions to Cudgel. Wasn't there some sort of attack that happened? Are these ones part of that attack? And Becklin, you could see, is having like a similar... Why is Elias upside down? He can have... Becklin also seems to have a similar thing as Elyas, where her like fists are kind of clenching and unclenching.
These people help save you. How dare you talk to them this way?
How dare I? How dare I? This is ridiculous. Meetings in here, clandestine with foreigners in our town.
What type of species is he?
He is a human.
Okay.
Just looks around and just kind of slowly, without saying a word, just shakes his head in a negative fashion.
Mm-hmm.
Korl will say, all right, your lordship, why don't you go shut up and sit down, unless you want to be the first one on the front lines with us.
Make a... You want to make an intimidation roll?
Sure.
Sounds,
God damn
it sounds really roll a natural 1. Well, stranger things have happened. Let's see if I just make a... that was a hidden roll, but those of you who will be watching this, you'll be delighted to see that I rolled a nat 20 against that. So he just looms over you.
Can I use inspiration? Inspiration.
Okay, okay.
Okay, still didn't beat. Yeah.
Yeah. He just looms despite your best efforts. He just absolutely is corpulent form. Seems to just get much larger. He says, "My boy, do not test me. This may be a backwater village, but I still hold much sway here. And certainly it seems this village needs as much help as it can get." During this exchange, another person comes through the door, but this one you recognize as Darrett, Elyas' friend and squire to Becklin. He bursts through the door out of breath and shouts, There's a rider at the gate, a messenger, wearing full armor. Come on. And basically, like, jets out the door. And
Cere will start to hobble out.
yeah, while you all rush after Darrett, why don't we go ahead and take a break here? And we will return in about 10 minutes. All right, we're coming back from our break. You all have been having a discussion back at the Brass Crab, interrupted by the noble Lord Baccharis, and then interrupted again by the friendly Darrett, who has exclaimed rather excitedly that there is a rider, a messenger, wearing full armor at the gate. So you all basically rush as a giant group out towards the river gate. Which I can put you back on the Vogler map for a second. Beneath the carvings of leaping fish etched into Vogler's open gate, a human in black and red scale mail sits astride an armored warhorse. You all immediately recognize this armor, obviously, as part of the soldiers you just fought. Behind her, 2 more armored soldiers stand by the gate imperiously. Word has already spread quickly, and many townsfolk have begun lingering on the periphery, peeking out of windows or around corners, or just shuffling up on the street as your group approaches. And the rider holds out a parchment and yells, "Who leads this village?" And the mayor straightens up and walks forward. Becklin flinches a little bit, kind of moves to almost put a hand out, but stops herself. The mayor says, "I am Mayor Raven Uthvogler. We are a simple fishing village. We want no part of any conflict." The soldier just waves her away dismissively and unfurls the parchment and begins to read. She says, "People of Vogler, by orders of Balefian, the voice of Takisis, this village has been claimed by the invincible Red Dragon Army. Those of you who wish to bolster our ranks, your families will be protected, and you will join the righteous cause of the Queen of Dragons. Those who refuse will perish as surely as your militia. You have until nightfall. This is the Dragon Queen's will." Worried murmurs and harried whispers flare up around the villagers. Mayor Raven looks stunned as he just searches for words while Becklin's hands tighten. Baccharis will actually speak up from the back. And you notice he came along, but behind you all, and says, "What of the nobility? Surely your army needs to keep some order intact. Some connections established, some leadership in place here." And the soldier says, "The goddess is our leader, and her will maintains order. All must submit, and her rewards are vast and powerful." And the rider pulls out her sword and holds it aloft The sword glows for a moment and then bursts into flames, which you all saw earlier. However, the effect is very effective amongst all the villagers, who definitely are taken aback. And she says, "Behold, a mere fraction of her power." You can hear Becklin kind of a sharp intake of breath next to you.
What is the vibe of the town? The people that are there, like, what are they doing?
Yeah, people, kind of a mixture, honestly. Some people are cowed and fearful. Others are just curious. Like you would be if there was any kind of event happening, outside. You're like, what's going on? A few are definitely awed by this display of what appears to be divinely powered magic.
Cudgel just kind of says,
Go ahead.
"Go ahead."
No, you could.
I was gonna say, Cere just kind of says underneath their breath, she goes, "This just don't feel right. I don't, I don't know what to do." And she like leans over at Pi, and she'll say, "Pi, what should we do?"
Pi holds the shield up high.
Fuck
Says,
yeah!
"We won't go."
Fuck yeah!
Like, no.
Um,
If I had I wish I had like booming blade or something that would like green flame blade. Like I could like counter.
yeah, really
Yeah.
sell it.
That would be awesome.
Make a straight charisma check. Let's see the
No.
riz
Oh no.
with the shield, but I'll give you advantage because you're holding aloft the shield, which is a artifact that this town recognizes. Ispen Greenshield was a local celebrity.
15.
Okay, 15. You sense that you are kind of swaying people. Let's see. Actually, make a. I'll give my soldier advantage too. Okay. Yeah, you sense that in a display of like just inspirational weaponry, yours seems to have more sway over the crowd, and you can see that the soldier frowns at this. Cudgel feels emboldened, especially, and she actually yells out, "You murdering bastards! You manipulated my forces! You caused the death of dozens of people!" And the writer seems to speak more to the crowd than directly to Cudgel. It says, "You all harbor one of these murderers among you. We have heard of this devastating attack on your village by this mercenary group. Your loved ones cut down because of failed leadership and lack of safety. The goddess offers both."
Cere says, "That's not right," but under her breath.
Yeah. Yeah, when your familiar goes out to the gates, you only see a pair of soldiers kind of lingering by these gates, so you don't see a whole group of people. What's everybody's passive perception? Just
And that's
BT.
where's that located?
On the right side under senses. It's
Census.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. 13.
13.
10.
Okay.
13.
That's easy to remember. Most of you can tell, even though there's only a pair of soldiers down here, you can kind of see a little bit of glint of metal coming off the sun, and you notice there are more soldiers up on the nearby cliffs to the north.
There.
you do notice a few villagers, especially some maybe single folks, maybe not so much families, approach the soldiers and kind of seem to, whisper and nod and stuff. And if any of you want to make a perception roll to try to listen in on this conversation. But the vibe you're getting is that they seem, just a few of them, seem to be asking about, like, what's the pay? What's the benefits? Give me what's the day-to-day look like? Yeah, Cere, you can pick up that they seem to be asking about this general army and like where they're heading and all this, and the writer doesn't seem to give any kind of straight answers, and definitely seems to really be selling the whole like goddess thing. Basically saying like all your needs will be taken care of. You will be given everything you need. You will be sheltered and fed, and you must just give your self to the goddess. Basically, like we'll take care of all that. And you think that more of them would have joined and maybe even left Pi if not for your display, but you do see a few of them actually seem to kind of look around and kind of duck through the gates and kind of wait for a second. And then the writer just kind of looks around and lingers for a moment and sees if anybody else says, and Becklin, you notice, has been very quiet. She's just been staring ahead very seriously and stone-faced, but she hasn't said a word. And the writer says, you will be given until nightfall to decide. Anyone who wants to join, you will be able to follow the road, and the soldiers will find you. But until then, for your own safety, no one else may leave this village. So actually, let me counteract what I just said. Anybody who wants to leave can come now, but now, until... okay, let me start over. You will be given until nightfall to decide. We will be waiting at the gates. Until then, for your own safety, no one may leave the village. Basically saying anybody can come to the gate and then ask to leave if they want to join out, but otherwise nobody will be allowed to leave. And she will sheathe her sword, and she will begin trotting, and the soldiers begin basically standing here and beginning to close the gates. And then you suddenly see, again, the glint off the armor and stuff. You see a soldier suddenly appear from up here and just fall down the like 20 or 30 feet and just crumple, just dead. And you can glimpse and see that there are multiple daggers in his back. And you see several more soldiers fall down from the cliffs, about 4 of them. And the rider's yelling like, what is going on? And you see on the top of the cliff, I don't know where the dynamic lighting actually goes to. Or you guys aren't on this map, are you?
Nope.
My bad.
No, we're on the
My bad.
main map.
Yep. Forgot you were on the main map. I got a whole map set up here I've been working on. So you can see these soldiers now have fallen off the cliff, and you can see where is the... Okay, that's as far as you see. Jayev basically like waves a dagger from up here, from up on the cliff. Says, I told you I'd get the lads back here. Sorry, I'm a little late. And the woman says, what is this? Shit. Thought we had cleared them out. Shut the gates. And she rushes back with the soldiers who attempt to shut the gates. And if you would like to roll initiative,
But those gates are protecting the town, right?
So
in
trapping
theory,
us in.
they
yep,
so they would shut. So we would have the locking mechanism. All they can do is push them.
correct. They were hoping to be on the inside of the gates, obviously, but with these attacks now, you can see the riders taking off, and both soldiers now are kind of wanting to go back to the gates because there's no easy access up on these cliffs.
Okay, and these over here are dead.
Yes. Very dramatic Wilhelm screams for all of them. You can see multiple people up on the cliffs. But Jayev's the important one.
We didn't short rest, did we?
You did not. Lucky for you, now you only see 2 dudes over there. There's also a lot of NPCs here. I'm not going to roll for the mayor. She's doesn't have her weapons. And Bakaris, of course, isn't going to dirty his hands. Alright. Quick battle here. Cudgel gets the drop, and you know she's itching for a find. Does she have any ranged weapon? Okay, she apparently has a heavy crossbow, so she can't reach anybody, but she will run up. Be like, hey, Jayev! And Jayev calls back and says, Cudgel, you look like shit. She says, so do you. I'm recovering from a near death. What's your excuse? And the two have very funny banter back and forth. She shoots her crossbow, which does not hit, unfortunately, as she tries to run up. And Darrett, eagerly also, 5, 10, 15, 20. And Darrett will... Does he get his ability back? That was a cool ability. Oh yeah, he gets back to long rest. He uses leadership ability. Everyone within 30 feet gets a D4 to an attack roll or saving throw. And he instinctively knows to run in the middle of the war zone. Yeah. Alright. Rickard.
I think Rickard's gonna go over to this the noble guy and like grab him kind of by the collar and push him forward. You want to run this town? You come help fight for it then.
That's why we have militia. Mayor, are these the new militia?
You're part of the militia.
That's preposterous. I could just... That's... I'll pay... I'll pay extra. Is that what you want?
I don't want pay. I want you to see what it takes to be militia.
Rickard, you can make a persuasion check using strength. If that makes sense.
Okay.
So you can make a strength check, but you can add your proficiency bonus if you're proficient in persuasion.
I'm not.
Okay, so give me a strength check as you manhandle Bakaris.
Oh, there we go.
21, nice. Okay, you have effectively reduced him to a blubbering mess. As his eyes kind of go wide as he realizes that he's in the middle of a altercation. It's fine. Do what you need to do. I'll support you. You've got my taxes, my voice. You can also have a point of inspiration for manhandling Lord Bakaris like that. Effectively.
I forgot, where does that show up now?
Top left to your character sheet.
Think. Top.
It says inspiration, and you click it as well.
Oh, okay.
Oh, above the
Okay,
initiative.
so I already have inspiration, so I want to give it to someone who doesn't then.
Yep.
I think
Korl used his.
Korl, yeah. All right, and
Thank you.
then is that my action, or do I have?
That was an action. That was like the influence action, basically. Yeah.
Got it. I'm
But
good with that.
I enjoyed it immensely.
That'll do it for me then.
All right. The soldiers, they are armed with javelins. And they, since Darrett was the one that ran up, he will hurl javelins at Darrett. And their javelins, like their swords, they actually whisper words to Lachesis, and their javelins are light with fire as well. However, both of those flaming javelins go sideways, because Darrett does have a little bit of armor on. But can he take 4 attack? Actually, this one, let's see, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Actually, or javelin is a 20-footer, isn't it? Where's the... Oh, no, it says 30. Okay. Yeah, they're still in range. Okay. So that will hurl at Cudgel. Oh, Cudgel can't catch a break. I don't know why it's rolling. Oh, that's right. I have to roll the crit one. Sorry. So the first one, and then the second one. So the first one is 12. So Cudgel takes 2 flaming javelins. 10 and 6. Jeez. And she had just recovered from being nearly killed, and now she's already goes from fresh to bloodied from these attacks, and she like staggers backwards. Korl.
Korl will play a rousing tune on his flute and charge. I do that 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. And I will cast Sleep
Ooh.
right here.
Okay.
Let's see, which one do I click?
There we go. Wisdom saves. 2 fails and a success.
How about the horse?
That's a good point. The horse does have a wisdom stat. Horse is a creature. Sleep is different too in 2024, isn't it? Yeah, that's right. They have the incapacitated condition to the end of the next turn, at which point they must repeat the save, and if they fail a second time, then they're knocked unconscious. Okay.
That is so much better than it used to be. Remember, it was like the pool of hit points?
Yes. Agreed. Wow, a warhorse is really wise. A horse has seen some shit. Is that really?
That's in come terms that whispered. Okay.
Wow, okay. Not quite wise enough, but damn, I'm impressed. Far wiser than the average human. Trained warhorse, okay. So the warhorse is incapacitated, which remind me what that condition means. Where is my... I had a tab open. Incapacitated in... can't take action, bonus action, or reaction. Concentration is broken. Can't speak. So I guess all you can do is move. Which is pretty good.
Weird that you can move.
Yeah, weird is move is the only thing you can do, which is weird when you're in the throes of about to fall asleep, basically. I gotta outrun this sleepiness. Oh no, I'm passed out. It's like it's a toddler being sleepy is what it is. Because they definitely get hugely energetic right before they get sleepy. Alright, so let's go that one. It was the third one, so I forgot the name of these guys. Alright, so the horse, the rider, and one of the soldiers is now incapacitated. and they have to make the save at the end of the next turn. All right, Korl. What is that sleep? Is it just like a mist or something that appears, or is it how visual? Sparkles.
I don't know. I was trying to think of this. Sparkles probably sounds good.
Oh, I forgot to do the burning hand. I love this. You guys don't play around with this like I do. Nope, that's not the one. Yeah, there you go. I was gonna do that for the burning hands for Rickard, but I freaking forgot. All right, Cere.
I think seeing Cudgel take damage again, I think she'll just instinctively shout, Reorx protects you. And she'll cast a Divine Spark, where I roll a d8 plus 3.
Divine Smart.
It'll heal her for 7 hit points.
Okay. Yeah, Cudgel nods at you, her eyes wide again. She says, I don't know how you're doing that, Cere, but thank you.
He says, do what? And I'm going to hold my spot.
All right, Pi.
Alright, I'm going to do Hunter's Mark to the one on the on top of the horse. And they have not lost any hit points yet.
They have not.
Alright.
They're getting asleep.
And then go to longbow it. An 11.
Will not hit the armored soldiers.
I'm going to use inspiration.
Okay.
16.
Will also not hit the armored soldiers. These guys all have their shields up going.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
So wait, is he in range to get the +4 from?
Oh, that's a good point. Yep, you're right. Darrett has his
For the plus roll.
Ooh.
his leadership thing going on. Yep.
And it's a D4, you say?
It is a D4. Yeah, it's basically the bless spell.
18.
18 is good enough. You hear Darrett say, "Come on, Pi, you got this."
11. And it is slowed.
Use the speed
So
back.
speed is now 10.
Are you shooting the rider or
What's
the
going on?
horse, though?
I know.
Yeah.
Shooting the rider. But if it gets off the horse.
Fair enough.
Well, if the horse falls asleep, they're probably going to try to get off. But then they can only move.
That's true. That's true. They get to move this turn, and at the end of the turn, they get to try to make the save again, I guess.
Now, can we see over the gate?
You can see through the gate, but the walls block. They should be blocking line of sight for you here.
The gate's not closed yet.
The gate's not closed yet, correct?
Oh, okay.
And that's it.
All right. Becklin does carry a great sword on her back. And you hear the mayor kind of freaking out at all these attacks going on. She's like, no, what's going on? No. And Becklin says, Mayor, I know you did not want a fight here, but I fear this is no longer an option. We must defend this village. And I know that these friends of Ispin's are the best defenders that we could have right now. And she marches up to this soldier with her 30-foot gait and her shining plate mail. Don't let me down, Becklin. Hyping you up. And attacks with her greatsword. Okay, excellent.
Kind of a backhanded compliment.
She's got this. Yeah, maybe a little bit, but you could tell she meant it very you could tell two things. She is sincerely respectful of you, but she also is not very eloquent about it. That attack does hit, though. And she has another strike in her. That one gets deflected just barely.
D4?
Oh, snap. Sure. She had to roll a 2 or higher, which she does. Thank you. She's also inspired. What? Jesus! She cuts this guy down in like 2 meaty strikes of her sword, and she's in full soldier mode. She is just not necessarily trying to not kill this guy. She knows this is. Well, if anything, you could just tell by her stance and everything. This is like a war. She's a soldier. The rider can direct the mount on her turn, and she will direct that mount to... Now, the mount cannot take an action to dash, which she definitely would hope to do. Because it's incapacitated. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40. But it has a 40-foot speed. And then both of them have to make the wisdom save. Which is remind me of 14 DC?
Yeah, 14.
Okay. So we'll do, this is for the rider. It's definitely passing out, which presumably she would slide off the horse, but let's see if the horse also passes out. Oh, the horse is too wise for that. However, the rider definitely falls unconscious, and she hasn't quite slipped off the horse yet, but you can tell if the horse keeps going and she's asleep, then she would presumably fall off at some point. I guess, did I skip the other guy's turn, or did he get... Has he not had his turn yet since he... I guess he hadn't had his turn yet. Okay. Elyas.
Yeah, I may have hit the initiative button late after you ordered them.
Oh, sorry. Shoot.
No, it's fine. It's fine, because it fits in narratively to what's going on. Since Elyas grew up here in Vogler, and he used to play in the keep with my buddy, he is going to... Let's see, let me get my little pusher back over here. He is going to...
Zero to make sense that way.
He is going to run to there... And he remembers a time when him and Darrett would play when they were kids. That they would be on the top part of the keep,
mm-hmm.
and would toss eggs at people that were walking down the pathway here. And he looked at Darrett and yells, "It's time to do a Panama!" And he tears off and it dashes this way, running around to climb up into the keep so he has a good strategic location to be able to see everything that comes up and down the road.
Okay.
Time to pull a Panama!
Yeah. Darrett smiles and yells. The rest of you are just absolutely befuddled. We got this, Elyas. Cudgel will... She stows her crossbow and says, "Can't take any more of these. Not going down again." 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. She rushes up. Actually, no, Becklin already defeated hers. Near Becklin and says, "It feels good to be fighting alongside you, Becky." And she will try to hit... I'm going to do two-handed sword. Hey, the 17 does hit. For 8 damage. Darrett can come up and hit. 5, 10, 15, 20. He's got his... Oh, you know, I could have done the D4, I guess, on her other attack also. Okay, her other attack will hit. Darrett getting some friggin' use out of that ability when there's like 18 NPCs around him. And then he also is wielding a... Wow, he has a great sword? God damn. All right, all the NPCs just rushed up and cut those guys
2d6.
down.
You get 2d6.
Turns out it's good to have friends with the council. I could take you guys out of initiative. Technically, the rider is unconscious on a horse that is currently still riding off. Pretty far, but let's see. When does that soldier? When does the horse get to go again? I guess you'd actually all get a turn. So I'm going to take you out of combat for a second, but if you all want to tell me what you want to do, because I think everybody gets a turn. Rickard, Korl, Cere, Pi. Everybody but Elyas, it looks like, gets to go before the next... the horse actually carrying the rider.
Yeah, actually, because I would like to get closer and maybe do a tangle and like to try to like stop the horse
Okay. You can go ahead and give
so
it that
the rider
turn.
can't.
Yeah, we're like in informal, like, turn-based mode, basically, if anybody wants to do anything to try to stop the horse leaving. The people that we're going to go with them are just kind of stunned and, like, cowering now at this display of force. And if anything, they're taken aback by the fact that Becklin and Derek and Cudgel just cut down these two soldiers.
Yeah, it's 90 feet. So where's the horse prepared to be?
Where are we? Let's see. From the gate, it is about 45 feet. From you, yeah, we're about 50 feet.
Okay. Okay. Let's do it.
I've also got command lined up. Alright, what's the, is that a deck save for?
Yeah, it's
Fucking D&D cops are coming for you.
it's strength.
It's Pinkerton, baby.
That's right. Yeah, oh shit. Talk too much shit about wizards lately. Strength save, yes. For the horse, since the rider is incapacitated. Fucking warhorse is also very strong. What the fuck? You know, I mean, I do see horses in real life all the time. I'm in Texas, and horses are big and strong and scary creatures. I'm the opposite of a horse girl. I think they're crazy. Yeah, look at this shit. Like,
I couldn't reach my portent quick enough.
Oh, if you want to use portent here, that's fine too.
Yeah, he rolls a 5.
Okay, I'll allow it. Elyas knows how strong horses are.
And
Okay,
it carefully
And I can
does
see
it
out there
not to
because
break any
my
legs or anything.
my familiar is out there. So
Okay. What were you saying, CT?
That it does so carefully to kind of like stop the horse and brace it without like causing it to go down and possibly breaking any legs. or
Oh,
anything.
I gotcha. A gentle
Just kinda like-
entanglement.
Yes.
Which would be pretty hard to do on a horse. I imagine it's like literally like in mid-gate, suddenly everything comes up and like freezes it somehow, like in its pose. Because if you try to like snare any one of the limbs by itself, the whole thing is just going to go toppling. The unconscious rider, though, like comically like slides off, just thunk.
There's no mercy for the rider.
Yeah, that's fair. The effect on the people and everybody around, though, is pretty startling, though. People are definitely like yelling and running away at this point. The mayor is beside herself. She's like, "What have we done? What have we done? This is an act of war." And Becklin sheathes her sword and says, and basically addresses all of you and says, "You all did the right thing. I think you know what I do, and that this is a dire situation we are in."
Cere
Yeah,
would
go
look
ahead,
at the mayor and just say, it's gonna be here whether you want it to or not. You should believe in your town, the people in it. How can I help?
What was it you said when you first came in? What?
There's an army massing. We need to get them out of here. I recommend we head to Kalaman. Kalaman might be able to protect us better.
Evacuation. The whole village.
It won't be easy.
No. Becklin backs you up though, Cere. Says, I agree with this one that Mayor Raven, we've lost most of our militia in what was certainly a decisive, coordinated assault designed to deplete our defenses. Why this army wants this village, I do not know, but clearly it has been marked. And I believe what they've said, that there is a full army out there. And they apparently have some gifts. Although I believe some of you do as well. And she kind of nods at you, Cere. Perhaps you have... Perhaps Ispin's death was not a happenstance. Perhaps you all were sent here for a reason.
Don't make eye contact with Korl.
Mayor says, okay. If we're going to evacuate, what did the writer said? We had until nightfall.
Nightfall.
Yes, so that doesn't give us much time. She looks up and it was, it's probably after midday at this point. You're all hungry. It says, we don't have much time for a mass evacuation like that, but I will do what I can. The first thing we'll have to do is tell everyone. We'll need to have a gathering at the village circle. And
She'll shout, is there a warning bell or something I can go ring?
yes, actually, if you or anyone else would like to come with me to speak to the villagers, I would appreciate the extra voices, I believe.
Kroll's gonna say, "What about them?" He's gonna jerk his head towards the people who were trying to go with the lady.
Yeah, says, I can't. The villagers, we are not a hive mind, of course. Everyone's going to have their own opinions about this, and I imagine everyone will have their own opinion about what just transpired here as well. As it, well, at least appeared to me that we were actually the aggressors here, and she kind of glares up at the cliff where Jaev is no longer there. He's presumably walking the long way back around towards the gates. Seems your friend, Becklin, seems to have started these shenanigans. Or your friend, Cudgel.
Don't turn that on them. We saw that whole army out there, and that whole army is who tried to who was the aggressor against the militias in that battle.
Dear nods in support.
Yeah. The one thing that nobody seems to be quite convinced of is if any of you mentioned, I think you did, the scaled soldiers or creatures. I think lizard folk do exist in this world, for example, and that's probably what everybody's like thinking of. And unfortunately, none of those creatures were here in this altercation, so that part is still a little bit hard to swallow. But for the rest of it, they do, because these guys were decked out in their full, armor, and then obviously the writer had that whole message. They are taking that very seriously, and the mayor says, Yes, you're right. If you would also like to come and speak to the villagers, you've certainly had a way with Lord Bakaris, and you look around and Bakaris is just absolutely gone. He's just taken off, basically, at that. I can't promise I myself have wanted to do that. to him a few times throughout the years. I hope it won't have any repercussions. Becklin also speaks up and says, "We need to devise a battle plan for defending this village with whatever we can. Even though we've stopped this lockdown, they're certainly going to know that nobody is returning at some point. And Cudgel, we will probably need the use of whatever remaining forces you have." Okay, who wants to talk to the villagers with the mayor? And who wants to discuss battle plans with Becklin? And by the way, you all can move back towards the Vogler map.
Well, I'm probably in Thornwall Keep by now.
Okay. Becklin... well, do you ever return to the group, or you just stay there?
Well, I guess I could look down to find out, from the parapets what's happening.
Okay.
Down in there, so.
She can she'll gesture if anyone wants to discuss battle plans. She'll actually do so in Thornwall Keep, so she can meet you up there. Her and Cudgel and she'll probably have Darrett with her.
Cere's gonna go with the mayor.
Okay. And then for a third thing, once the mayor starts going back towards the village circle, well, actually, we'll do the telling of the people first. Is it just Cere?
I'm
I'm fine.
gonna go.
Okay. You said Pi also.
Did we
Anybody drag old girl back with us?
yeah, that's what I was just gonna say. Are we like taking that the woman on the horse prisoner, or are we just
Yeah, you
I
can.
feel like we can't just execute her, so
You can ask Becklin about that, and she says, I applaud your efforts at keeping a prisoner. It's possible we could gather more information, but given her zealous nature, and my strict, respectful approach to prisoners of war, she kind of looks meaningfully at all of you. I doubt we would get much more information in such a short time. And she also mentioned previously about how she had trouble even keeping the few prisoners from before who are still in Thornwall Keep. And she's even saying, given the current situation, she may just have to release them. Like, it just doesn't seem morally right to have prisoners of war when their own village is about to be presumably attacked. So she does kind of question, like, what do we do? Do we just tie her up somewhere, obviously, and maybe just keep her in the keep, knowing that she'll eventually be... She's definitely not okay with executing.
Elias, who did you message that to?
I'd sent that to you
Okay.
as a mage, and I whisper, I have ways to probe her mind. Bring her to me.
I'm gonna go pretty much just unbuckle some of her heaviest armor and then pick her up like fireman style over my shoulder and start marching up towards the keep.
Okay.
What about the fire sword? Is it
The swords seem to go out whenever they are downed, and when you look at it, it just appears to be normal. So whatever they're using would be akin to like a paladin using a smite spell, for example. So you think whatever they're using isn't the weapon, it literally is a power they have within them that they're manifesting.
Kind of like a boon almost.
Yeah, which is a startling thing to discover, because you're thinking like, oh, they must have some magic weapons. You're like, oh wait, this is just a normal sword. Shit.
Right. I posted out. I was like, "Where's the on switch?"
Yeah. How do I make the sword glow? Where's the switch? Which is startling because, you know, at some point you might think it's kind of bullshit what they're doing, but then you're like, okay, no, there's something else going on here, basically. You've also seen, though, increasingly, especially in this session, Cere and Korl displaying non-wizard spellcasting. And that is not a normal thing in this universe at this time. And Cere isn't even aware of what's going on.
We talk about. She's just been saying stuff.
Yeah.
Also, when Rickard, just before she turns around, as you guys are trying to talk about what to do, she turns around to go with the mayor. When she sees you throw that lady up over her shoulder, her face goes flush. Like she's like, the blushing happens as soon as she's impressed with you.
Oh my!
Yes, yeah. She's impressed.
All right, we'll do the villager stuff first. So, you all are some. So sorry, who was at the village circle with the mayor? I guess if it's the wizards or Thornwall Keep, the rest of you at the circle. That make it easier.
Yes.
Yeah, and you guys can shut the gate. Obviously, this is Becklin would certainly help you recommend this. It's you notice that the gate is when you go to shut it, like it's not even you don't think it's been shut in years. So you imagine it would have to be like some work to be done. Like you would have to like dig, you know, like how fucking fence gates get after a while, like it's just off kilter, and you're gonna have to like, you know, dig out like areas because of course it's like leaning down, so it's gonna take some work. You imagine these soldiers would not have been able to actually close this gate now that you're up there. But you can reach the village circle. The mayor does ring the bell at the village center. Many villagers are already here because this is kind of just obviously the main thoroughfare. The mayor's home is there, which is still a bit of a triage area. And the Kingfisher festival decorations are still set up, but it looks like just apocalyptic now because everybody's rushing through here. There's just trash everywhere. And the mayor doesn't mince words as she speaks up. She says, "People of Vogler, an army is headed for our village." And then immediately people start like, you know, worriedly whispering amongst themselves. "And they do not come in peace." We do have a fishing village soundtrack. "After the attack yesterday, we have very few able to defend us. These travelers for Ispin's funeral and the remainder of the ironclad regiment," which a few people like boo, as you imagine, will do what they can to buy us some time, but we must prepare to evacuate the village, and we must do it today. And there's a stunned silence amongst the village, and then it is a cacophony of angry shouting, worried responses, like absolute crowd mayhem. How do you want to deal with that?
Pi wants to get their attention, right? Now he holds up the shield on one side, pulls out his sword on the other, and uses minor illusion to ignite a green flame, the same green that's on the shield.
Oh, so cool.
To get everybody's attention. I was like, "We must fight." Well, hold on. The message right now. But just gets their attention.
No, we're trying to
Gets
get
their
him to leave.
Join up with me, we will march onto these people. Shit.
I'm just trying to get their attention for the other people to speak.
Yeah.
Listen
No,
up.
yeah. Basically, you do the drown out everybody and shout them. The effect is,
Well, I could do sound too, so I could have like a lion roar happen as I do this.
just because it's cool.
Just because it's cool.
I imagine like the what is it, the MGM line that does the classic like roaring sound. Yeah, and that does seem to have a quieting effect on the crowd, and they do. And like I said, like the people know that shield, like that does it. And frankly, they kind of know you. You've made a big impression on them in the last day with catching the legendary fish. Where that word still gets around, so people are definitely noticing you. So you have the floor, but like you said, if you wanted to point to somebody to speak, this would be a good time as well.
Yeah, just basically goes, listen up, and then like steps off to the side.
Cere would speak up, and she says, I know everybody's scared and doesn't know what to do. Hell, I don't know what to do. But what I do know is there's an army, hundreds, not a couple hundred soldiers just waiting, and they're with some type of creatures I've never seen before. You're welcome to stay and fight, but I think you're better off if we just get what you need and leave immediately.
Make a persuasion check with advantage, thanks to Pai's display as well.
It's her splint.
You pour your heart out, but yeah, something about maybe your accent or just,
I'm a dwarf.
Yeah. It's just not, and people are still looking pretty weird. Like, they were all on board for Pi, but as soon as you step up, they're like, who the fuck is this person? Yeah, your words
Korl
kind of...
is gonna do...
Go ahead.
I'm gonna do like a Disney-style song and dance production, where like, we're pack all things, we're going on a trip. Try to get everyone to start like moving and shit.
Like the beginning of Beauty and the Beast when Belle's in the village.
Just a montage of... if I start singing, everybody will have to do this. There goes the baker with his tray, like always. This is... Alright, make a performance check. It's gonna be fucking hilarious if you shit the bed on this, but go ahead and make a performance check. Wow! Wow. Okay. Jesus, with a +8. So, yeah, despite you can see Cere's losing the audience, and you all of a sudden just start dancing and playing your music, and suddenly, like, the kids nearby, you know, even though they were worried, they're kids, so they're into it. Okay, you got it. Yeah, it's the nat 20. And they start, like, clapping their hands and stuff, and you see a few of the folks kind of, you know, nodding their heads along, almost like infectious. They just can't stop. And you try to, like, steer them towards packing up all their shit and getting out of town, basically. Turning that into a song. I'd give you inspiration, but I think we all have... Everybody here's got inspiration.
Cere just mouths, thank you, to Korl.
People start begrudgingly trying to get their stuff together. However, somebody that I think I think it's the guy who ran the fishing competition, the Warfinger, Upton Lanth. God, that's a fucking random generator name if I've ever heard one. Approaches, seemingly immune to the song and dance, and talks to the mayor specifically, but does include you all in the conversation. And says, for the record, I agree we don't want to be here when that army shows up, but the crossing, Mayor, we don't have enough ferries and rafts to transport the whole town in that amount of time. And the mayor says, well, surely we can think of something. While you all think of that situation, let's go back to... We've got Elyas and Rickard in Thornwall Keep, kind of with Becklin and Cudgel, as you all are basically trying to discuss the defense of the town, as well as this prisoner that Rickard is coming in with.
All right, so yeah, I'll like kind of drop her and get her restrained. Yeah. And then I don't know, how long did that sleep spell last? Probably not terribly long.
That's a
She's
good
probably
question. Yeah, I don't think it actually.
It's probably a minute.
Yeah, I was gonna say she probably actually woke up a while ago, but I assume you restrained her probably first.
Yeah.
Yeah, the concentration only lasts for a minute, so it's basically a combat spell. So at some point while you were running up to the keep, she probably wakes up and starts struggling, but you can plop her down in the keep. The keep does have a few dungeons still there. They're basically all full from the prisoners that so many of you left alive from that first battle. But you can tie her to a chair or something if you want to talk to her.
All right, once I've got her kind of secured in there, then I'll just kind of look at Elyas.
Elyas snaps his finger, and his familiar Valoon pops into view. I'll look at this. Do we know what this person's name is? This is Belafin? Is that who that is? Or was that the leader of the...
That's a name that she mentioned. You don't know what her name is.
Okay. I'll look at her and I say, you're going to answer all of our questions. Or, my little friend, and I look over at Valoon, give her a taste of what you're capable of. Valoon saunters over and reaches up and nudges her in the arm, and I cast Shocking Grasp through my familiar and pop her.
That's pretty fun. Okay, that shocks her a little bit, and she hisses at that. Becklin and Cudgel are there. Cudgel nods at this, but Becklin frowns.
And I hold my hand up.
Yeah.
And then I cast Detect Thoughts. I said, do not resist me. So she would have the opportunity, if she would like to make a wisdom saving throw to oppose this. And
okay.
initially, I start by detecting like surface thoughts in her.
Her surface thoughts are that she hates you very much, and she would prefer to be freed. And her surface thoughts is that she would not want to be found here, captured by you.
Okay. And then this is a concentration spell. I'm going to use a magic action 6 seconds later to probe deeper into her mind. And I'm going to ask her a question. I'm going to ask, what are the dragon army's immediate plans for Vogler and Solamnia?
Okay, and is this the one where she makes a wisdom save?
If she wants to, she can.
Okay. Yeah, she'll definitely try to resist.
Okay.
Like that.
This is a DC 14 is what my it's a wisdom 14.
Ooh. She doesn't have a good bonus. I just randomly rolled good that she
All right.
ends up you kind of have like sweat maybe beating down as you try to glance at her, but she just kind of glares back at you.
She takes 8 points of lightning damage as Valoon reaches over and nudges her again. And I say, don't test me.
That was very painful. She gasps at that, and Becklin puts a hand on you, Elyas, and says,
I'm not touching her.
I'm not touching her. I'm not touching her.
I'll ask you again. What are the Dragon's army's plans for Vogler and Solamnia? And I probe again.
Okay. She'll make another save, but Becklin does say to you, says, this is using some wizarding magic on her, but do not condone torture, Elyas.
She will bring the wrath of Takesis and kill everyone in our home. And then I turn back and I say, I'm waiting.
Okay, that one she does fail. She still
Okay.
attempts to resist it even with the damage. You can tell that damage did significant amount of damage
Right.
to her, and she is singed.
So, do I get a response from her?
You see the images in her mind, and you see Vogler burning, and people screaming. You see images of a large figure, kind of silhouetted, similar in shape and structure to the lieutenant of the Ironclad Regiment that you all had to fight earlier, but even bigger than that. And then you see, very briefly for a moment, the flames seem to be firing out in a cone from a creature, like at you, and that's what kind of, and you see that like superimposed upon a map of the of Ansalon, and you see like the flames like spewing out in a cone and just covering like all of Solamnia, and then that kind of jerks you out of the vision.
I say, good.
And Rickard, you see like, does that emotion like affect you, Elyas, when you see all this?
Internally, it does, but there's a lot of complex emotions that he's experiencing right now. His affect has been completely flat since the attack at High Hill. He's not his regular jovial self,
Yeah.
and it's kind of scary because nobody knows exactly what he's feeling right. It's a complete flat.
Yeah.
He's got like RBF going on ever since then. It's like not a whole lot that you can get out. He's got the poker face on, and he asks another question. He says, "Where's the Dragon's army's next supply line coming in, or a weakness that I can exploit?"
Well, I guess she can. Let's see. Does she have to keep making the save, or did you just learn all that at once?
She can choose to make a save and pay the consequences,
Okay.
or tell me what I want to know.
She seems particularly zealous, so even though she is taking some damage, she will attempt to keep rebuffing.
Okay.
But her wisdom is not very good. You probe deeper into her mind, but you just keep seeing these same visions overlay, and what you're learning is that she is not she's just not privy to that information. You see like multiple silhouetted figures who all appear to be like superiors above her, and you think that she was actually just a soldier sent with a message, essentially. Presumably in case she gets captured. And didn't have any critical intel necessarily.
I turn back and I've got like probably maybe one or two more questions I can ask before the spell ends, and I look at the mayor and Becklin and I said, "Is there anything that you two would like to know?" Or I look at Rickard that we should ask before we conclude.
What are what are the lizard creatures that you're using?
That's a good one.
And I kick her in the leg with my shoe. Not really hard, just with the side of my foot.
You can see Cudgel smile at this, even though Becklin's frown deepening. It's like just fucking Bert and Ernie over here, just opposite reactions. This time, when you ask that question, she's either too tired to resist or maybe doesn't resist. But you see that there are far more of those creatures. They outnumber. It's like the primary unit they have in their army. And you see visions of multiple kinds of these creatures that are different colorations, different heights, to where that there's different versions. And you even see very, very briefly the shadowy figures surrounding large eggs and some kind of magical dark ritual being done to these eggs, and you see like high above these eggs, off in the distance, again silhouettes of real dragons that you can see, and your heart kind of flutters when you see this, even from just this vision of her thoughts that you're getting. And from this egg cracks open, and instead of a dragon, it's this dragon-sized creature that emerges, and the word that is imprinted on her mind, that bubbles up through all of her thoughts, is draconian.
Would an Arcana history or religion check get me any more information from the vision that I'm seeing?
This is probably the first that you've heard of any of the. I mean, you would know dragons once existed in this universe, but have not for some time.
So this is beyond any knowledge I would have read or know about that.
I think so, yeah.
Okay. So I look back at Rickard and then at the mayor and at Becklin. One more question. Anyone?
Do you tell anybody else about the vision that you received?
I will after we decide what we're going to do with her.
Yeah.
And if they don't say anything, I'll look back to her and I ask, what will happen if you don't return to camp?
She says, I have pledged my life to the goddess, the one true god of Krynn. And my life is unimportant. The army is invincible. I will either rejoin its ranks, or I will perish. The result, it makes no difference.
You can see, both mayors and Rickard, you can see that there is an extreme conflict going on, at a turmoil inside of him. He flexes his forearm and a dagger falls out, and he grabs it, takes it up and puts it up next to her neck. And a single tear just rolls down his cheek.
Okay.
And he waits to see if anybody stops him.
If Rickard doesn't seem to do it too quickly, Becklin will certainly go as quickly as she can to stop you. If you want, we can do this narratively, or we can
do it narratively.
Okay.
I'm going to allow, in the narrative style, I want somebody to help me be my conscience right now.
Yes.
Because I know I can't trust my emotions.
Yeah, and you know, Becklin, you know each other, right? Like you've grown up in this town. Becklin has been here for, I think I said, like 10 years or so.
Right, and Darrett's there too. So
yes, Yes, Darrett has been keeping in the back and has been very upset about this going on, and he's obviously going through some emotions as well. But he seems to still have his upbeat attitude about him, basically. And Becklin stops you forcibly, but it's Darrett who actually says, Elyas, please. This is not who we are. I know things are really bad right now. But I think we can get through this, but we need you. I need you to hold it together.
He squeezes the knife to his knuckles turn white, and he lets go of it, retracts the dagger back up on the thong that was on his forearm, and he turns and he looks at Darrett, and he says, thank you, my friend, once again for being a voice of reason in my conscience.
He embraces you.
Backhand, and he turns around and backhand this woman, and then he moves. Then he comes out, and they give up like a man hug, I guess.
Yeah. That's she spits some blood on the ground, and Becklin will immediately take her and basically remove her from the situation, like forcibly put her in a cell. Even Cudgel is like, damn, he almost killed that person. But yeah, you and Darrett share a moment, basically. And then once Becklin has put her back, she kind of returns and says, all right, you've gotten some information. Is there any chance we have against them?
I share the vision that I had imparted to me, and say a silent prayer to Lunatari for the magic that gave us this information, and let them know that these are draconians, is what they're called. There are multiple variations within the species that came from dragon eggs, and that there are, and I would imagine that I gave a description of the dragons, and they would all of metallic variety.
Yeah.
I don't want to overstretch.
Yeah. Which, I mean, even you saying dragon eggs also is like what? Like, that's not a thing
Right.
like, so this is all like bombs being dropped. Yeah.
And we should flee immediately. No debate. No hesitation. We must leave via the incomplete bridge by boats over the river as a buffer between us and this army. We must flee.
Becklin says, I agree. But I would hope we could at least buy these villagers some time. We have only hours. And I do not know how much time it takes to evacuate a village of several hundred people, but I imagine it takes longer than this. This village, Elyas, as you know, is quite defensible, but from what you've described, these creatures' wings, and she glances at the cliffs that normally protect them. I don't know if the gates are going to hold much.
Does
Cudgel's...
Stonewall Keep have any additional armaments, like any ballistas or anything like that?
It
that can be
has the one big catapult thing on the top that is designed to move people from one cliff to the other. It's a gnomish design. And as you recall, that is
Garrett and I were stupid enough to try that when we were kids.
correct. It is absolutely set up like an amusement ride, basically, and yeah, Becklin keeps a tight watch over it, but if ever she's out, you all would definitely screw around with that. Probably have many broken bones. But yeah, you look around the ruined keep, and it is not in... I mean, this village has never had to defend itself, basically. And you also know that whatever militia you have was devastated. Cudgel does speak up and say, you know... And at some point, Jayev finally, you know, comes to the gate, and he's got a little more than half a dozen mercenaries with him. And Jayev even says that he had some prisoners, too. Like, people that had fled from that Battle of High Hill. He had those people tied up, and he was trying to ask them questions, get information from them. And he said he didn't feel comfortable leaving any behind either, so he just said, hey, fucking join us or you're fucked, as only JF can. And they hurriedly agreed, so he bolstered his forces a bit. So he's got maybe 8, you know, he's like 7 or 8 people, including him. And they come up to Thornwall Keep, and Cudgel's like, this is what we've got, this is what we do. You know, Jayev is... he's the proficient in guerrilla tactics and warfare. We could ride out north and kind of harry the forces a bit, make it seem like we're a larger force than what we are. Hopefully Gorgonis didn't say everything about, you know, how many of us there were or anything, so they don't know. And then maybe that could at least slow him down. And Becklin also agrees with that. She says,
Alliance would nod, yes.
Yeah. It's like, if we can slow them down and harass them, maybe even force them to send some detachments more to the north forest area, then that could hopefully... At this point, all we need is time. We cannot stop this army, but we could certainly buy everyone some additional time. She says that she will go with Cudgel and Jayev, and she turns to Elyas, Rickard, and Darrett. Says, I would ask the impossible of you, but that you are our last line of defense in the village, and that you see to the safety of these people. Rickard, I know that this is not your home, and we've only just met, but I respect your tactics, and dare I say there's a hint of a knighthood about you that I detect.
Well, yeah. We'll set up something here to try and slow him down. We can use the gorge that comes up to the gate. I think we can do some, but the size of that army, and if they send those draconian things, they can just fly right off the cliff, I think. But we'll do what we can.
A flying army, She kind of like puts her head to her. We'll need all the help we can get. And perhaps some of your other friends that have those powers. I can't explain the ones they use, and I can't explain theirs either. But maybe that gives us something. And she, so basically direct everybody to kind of leave the keep as all of you kind of get your stuff together. She does recommend you all at least take the hour, which I know you don't have a lot of time, but you all probably need a short rest here. Which I'm going to sync that up with the other folks as well at the circle. You all can, once you got the news about the ships and stuff, you all can be talking about that, but everybody can go ahead and get a short rest here. During this very time-sensitive moment. But you're no good to the village if you're dead. Do you need the tokens for that, or can you do it from the character sheet?
From the character sheet.
Okay. Yep, short rest can replenish hit die. Who all gets stuff back in a short rest? I think Rickard gets the second wind. Oh yeah, do you have Arcane Recovery for the wizards?
Yeah.
I don't think the bards get their... the bard gets inspiration back yet, right? It's a later level thing.
Yeah, I think that's level 5 or something.
Okay. Cleric might get Divinity back, I think. Channel Divinities.
When you do this, do you? Because I get the. How many? Do you get to like choose the hit die heals, or do you have to say this is how many I'm going to spend?
I did it wrong, but they've done it right.
So you click on the hit dice, and then it just rolls it right then, which seemed weird. And it gave me the bonus for both die. It also, when I did short rest, it automatically applied the health to my character sheet.
Okay.
Mine did not because I did it wrong.
Do you tell it how many dice you want to roll?
Yeah, you click
Yeah,
the dice, and it makes them like a check mark.
Okay.
And then you're supposed to click the button that says take short rest.
Yeah. So when you click the dice, it rolls it right then. But when you click take short rest, that's when it actually applied it.
Okay.
It didn't tell me what the number was when I clicked it, so that was kind of weird.
I don't know. It does say healed 6 HP in that your result thing there.
Yeah, it did, but while I was inside the short rest, when I clicked one of the little
The other one
crates,
was an
it
8.
didn't-
Oh,
It just said 3d6
Huh.
plus 3. But it's all good. So, okay.
No, so
cool.
scroll up a little bit. Above Pie's short rest is where when you click the dice, it looks like.
Oh, it showed up there. I was looking on the actual sheet. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
All right. Excellent.
So, time is ticking. You were informed, some of you were informed about the ship situation, so the mayor and everybody does agree evacuation is the plan, thanks to Korl's song and dance. The village is at least begrudgingly on board with this. You have not seen or heard from Bakaris, but the good news is you have not seen or heard from Bakaris, so it appears his mollifying by Rickard has been effective, at least keeping him out of the situation, not making matters worse. So you do have a ship situation to deal with. Basically, they've never obviously had to evacuate the entire town. And the Warfinger explains that with the ferries they have now, he also suggests, and the mayor seems to be nodding along with this, that it wouldn't do. It wouldn't be enough to just ferry people back and forth across the river immediately. Like it would be better if people went downriver a little ways longer to actually make it to the city of Kalaman, because he agrees that like getting everybody to the city rather than like just getting up to like this little crossing and then having to walk down essentially puts them in additional risk. Because of that, though, you can't just take the ships back and forth because it's a longer journey. He's basically saying that this would essentially be a one-way trip for safety reasons. So that means they would need to get as many vessels as possible. And he says right now with the amount of ferries and stuff they have, he's like, and the amount of time they have, he's like, we could fit maybe half of the population, which is a lot of people. That's like 200 people.
Can we ferry half across and then put the other half on the boats and send them down the river?
That's what needs to happen.
Yeah.
Where is it they're trying to escape to, or we're thinking we're trying to get them?
Yeah, you want to put you back on the big map?
Kalamon, yeah. Because that's, how far is that away?
Zoom out
Like
a
a
little
day's journey?
So you guys are up, yep, right up there. A little town known as Vogler. And then the nearest city, which is an actual city, is closer down by the mouth of the river.
Oh.
Just like 2 days journey then.
Yeah.
33 miles.
Yeah, and they're saying like with that many people, like with nothing, like it's not.
Okay.
It's not very viable to just kind of drop people off at the road, like that many people. So for safety,
I still think.
Yeah.
I still think we got to make the case though that like
Women and children stay in the boat, and the
we
men
got to
folk.
put like half the people across the other shore to put distance between them and the army, and they can start hoofing it.
and leave all the boats on the side, or the boats are going up the river, so they won't be anywhere from the river. But I guess they could fly across. But
you were. If anybody's aware of their capabilities of this army, it's you all specifically.
Cere's in support of getting half across and then trying to send half down the river. Maybe the people who want to fight, we'll send them down across the river so that they can defend themselves.
all right, I'm going to take 11 minutes, and as a ritual spell, I'm going to cast.
Oddly specific.
10 plus 1.
Well, it's a minute to cast a spell, and as a ritual, it
Gotcha.
takes an extra 10 minutes to do that.
Okay.
And then I'm going to ask the question: is it safer to take half the people across the river and then send the other half down the river, or just all tear off on this side of the river down? I mean, is it a yes or no? Is it better to do this option as a yes or no type thing?
Okay, make sure we word this like this is like a genie wish.
Correct.
Make sure we're wording this very specific. Like, I guess type it out for me so I make sure I don't misconstrue anything. This would be so stressful to like literally cast the spell too, because I'd like to be specific in the wording. Omen from an otherworldly entity.
I think this one you have to see what you're gonna do, and then the answer you get will be if it's good or bad. Good idea, bad idea.
Yeah.
So you can't do like a this or that or.
Yeah, you get like the only message you receive back is something that you interpret as being either good or bad, or good and bad, or neither good and bad. So I guess there's 4 possible results.
See
Not
if
a
I can
gambler,
follow.
but I think we should start a pool on what the answer's going to be.
I mean, every DM just wants to do like it's good
Pretty
and
sure
bad.
I know
Because like
what
then the
it's gonna
player's like,
be.
well,
Yeah.
fuck me, I guess.
Yeah.
Is the best course of action to take half of Vogler's population across the river and send the other half in the boats toward Kalaman. Okay.
Is that as clear as it can get, or?
Yeah, I think I can give you. Unfortunately, it's going to be what I just laughed about, but that makes sense because, I mean, it could be good and bad. So what you get, let's see, you gave me a fun.
Yeah, that was fun to do that.
Let's see if I can open this. Okay. Jared actually made me a. Yeah, I should have plugged this in as a table. I didn't think to do that. Let's see. What you receive is. So
And we can
these
roll
are.
a d6. We can roll a d6 on that chart, whichever the answer is, and use that as
Okay, yeah. Give me a d6. We'll do that. I'll use your chart that you made.
Let's see. Dice.
I'll plug this into Roll20 next time. It'd be fun to display.
How far is the bridge? I must have missed the description on this. You said that the bridge is broken. I'll let you resolve this first.
Okay.
It was just never built.
Okay, what you get is the bones arrange into a half moon with light and shadow interplaying, suggesting a mixed result of both hope and danger.
And I'll look at the rest of the party and I'll let them know there's risks to every situation. and we're going to lose people whatever we decide.
That makes Cere sad.
So I would think that sending maybe Darrett with the people in the boats and the rest of us could travel on foot with the rest of the people to keep them safe as we're making down the Kellerman.
You do know two things, Elyas, being from this village. One of them is that there are a lot of people who own boats in this village that would not necessarily be part of the ferry crew. You imagine the Warfinger is already going around and asking people, but maybe people have boats in, just in their homes or that are under repair or something. So that could be. I mean, it's a fishing village. There's a lot of boats around.
Right.
So you don't necessarily have to use just the ferries. Like, you could be like, look, we need to fucking grab everything that can float.
I mean, if we were to use everything, including like 2x4s that float, could we put everybody in the town on all the boats and just float down the river?
You knew you also know that it would take a lot of work to do that. It would be committed work to to talk to people and have them basically make sure that they're using whatever available boats they have, and then also making sure people are only carrying literally the bare minimum shit on their back, because every single thing you bring, could be a spot for another person.
I look around and I said, "Find me Bakaris."
Yeah, he's probably got boats displayed in a room somewhere. Which, if you send Rickard, would probably be able to knock on that door, and his normally face would just fall.
Well, we know he's a coward, so he's going to
need.
do everything he can do to protect and save himself.
Correct, yeah. Once he hears of this plan, he is wanting to be first in line on the boats. And the problem is he wants to bring all of his shit, too. He doesn't travel, of course, without all of his various things. Yeah.
So we're gonna let Korl, Pie, and Cere know kind of what's going on, and then based on the message that I got from the goddess Lunatari, that this is taking half the people over and then taking the boats down the river is going to lead to some tragedy, but success, that we might actually find better success by just trying to get all the boats in town down the river, because we can travel faster on water than across land, and just have them try to RP this out to finish this up for the night, because I know we're getting late.
Yeah. So you all spend basically, that's what takes up the next couple hours between the short rest, the discussions, and everything. Becklin and before all that, Becklin and Cudgel and Jayev, they ride out. They say their goodbyes to all of you. Becklin says to Darrett that you've been a fine squire, as fine a squire as a knight could hope for. Trust in the code and trust in yourself. Darrett is teary-eyed but nods vigorously. And she looks at all of you and says, Ispin was right to call you friends. I'm glad I've had the chance to do the same. Cudgel finally turns to you, Cere, and says, hey, I never thanked you for saving my life. My real name is Ridimir Ironsmile. Not many folks in this world know that. And I'm still mourning one of them. Whatever magic you're using, you keep on with that.
He says it. I didn't do anything other than help somebody that needed help.
Yeah, you keep on doing that. Before Becklin rides off, she turns to you, Elyas, and privately, and asks you to recover a large wooden box from under her bed in Thornwall Keep. And she instructs you to give it to Darrett once everyone has reached safety. she says this very seriously.
And I definitely will do that.
And the three of them ride off, and then or I guess more of them, because Jay had a bunch of dudes with him. And then the hours go by. You all help get all these ships and things in place. You've got evacuation happening full on, which is just, you try to do these things in structured order, but of course it's just pandemonium. Like, people are freaking out left and right. Even the best of people who are trying to calm them down. Korl's like song and dance still is like less and less effective as people are realizing they're leaving their lives behind and taking all their stuff that they can with them. And you get to where about surprisingly 60 to 70% of the people have evacuated by the time the sun dips low in the sky. The brass crab and the fishbowl have opened their stores of food and supplies to the public while this is happening. Villagers are helping one another, but still there's that frightening tension in the air, one that this peaceful village has never grappled with before. And then while you are still helping everything, and probably some of you are moving towards, maybe even rushing towards the gate to set up defenses, whatever little defenses you can with just a couple of you. You probably have some militia who are still wanting to defend as well. An explosion rocks the river gate, that entire chasm area, followed by the sounds of yelling. As you all look on at the rising smoke to the north, you see a terribly burned militia member come staggering down the road, yelling, "They're here! They're here! And they have a dragon!"
What?
And that is where we're going to end our session. Episode 3 of Dragonlance, Shadow of the Dragon Queen. Stop our music right there. Thank you to Brandon, CT, Genocider, Jared, and John for playing. And thank you to all the wonderful patrons for making these sessions happen. Shouts to Platinum patrons: Joe, Will, Thomas, Brandon, Genocider, Roleplay Roll, Christopher, Big Nut, John, Nathan, Andrew, Stephanie, Jason, Lumpy's Buds, Ward, Needhamon, LLC, Tom, Eating the Dogs, Marcus, Snuggy, Hugo, Jerry, Shay, Sasha, and John. And gold patrons: RPG, Papercrafts, Pretty Boy, and Yuma, The Lizard Lounge, Jerome, Nathan, Fezzica, Torta, Scott Rivers, Jerry, Glenn, and Mark. Thank you all very much for your support. We will see you next time.
Thanks for the game.
That was freaking awesome.